XGGA8353100, spot entitled Leather /Geico/Reason/Motorcycle 30 seconds.
Geico knows there are many reasons why you ride. From the exciting adventure of the daily commute to the peace of mind that Geico always has your back with 24/7 access to claim service and legendary customer service. But Pamela Mund had one reason in particular.
My skin is extremely averse to most fabrics, except for the soft, buttery feeling of leather. Thankfully, I found my clan of leather lovers in the biking community. It's been life-changing.
Geico Motorcycle. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Thank you for downloading Sporgy for free on iTunes or from ChristopherMedia.net. Please make sure to rate Sporgy 5 stars on iTunes and help to tell others about Sporgy by leaving a comment. Thank you for following Sporgy on Twitter at Sporgy Podcast and on Instagram at Sporgy_podcast. Please follow Sporgy on Facebook to like and share Sporgy. You can also email the show. The address is sporgy@ChristopherMedia.net. If you would like to donate to Sporgy, you can click on the PayPal button at ChristopherMedia.net. If you use Amazon.com, please click and bookmark the Amazon link at ChristopherMedia.net. It will not cost you any extra money, and you will help to support Sporgy. If you are looking to launch your own website, please click through the HostGator banner at ChristopherMedia.net. Christopher Media uses HostGator to host all of the shows produced by the Christopher Media Network. When you click through the HostGator banner at ChristopherMedia.net and sign up for HostGator, you're helping to support Sporgy. We know that choosing the perfect gift for a man is a difficult task, but not anymore. TheBroBasket.com is here to help. We all know men are hard to shop for, but what do guys actually like? Their favorite alcohol, that's what. It could be craft beer, wine, whiskey, scotch, or tequila. TheBroBasket.com will put it in a gift basket full of their favorite gear and goodies. You can customize your own Bro Basket or choose from a variety of different Bro Baskets, like the Ultimate Import Sampler, the Jack and Coke gift set, or the Junior Executive gift basket. Boozeless, but still cool, Bro Baskets are also available. TheBroBasket.com gives you many shipping options to choose from, including rush delivery and Saturdays. 21 and over, please. State and local laws apply. Beer, wine, and liquor are not available for shipping in all states. You can help to support Christopher Media by clicking through the BroBasket.com banner at ChristopherMedia.net. Men used to be hard to shop for. TheBroBasket.com.
Christopher Media. Let's make some noise. Welcome to Sporgy, the show that gives you half-ass sports fans giving their half-ass opinions. And now, here are your hosts.
Welcome to Sporgy, number 39. All right, guys.
39?
Oh, wait. Shit. Whoa. Get ahead. We're from the future.
38?
Wait, 38.
If we're from the future, 38. Someone grab that fucking book that Biff had in Back to the Future, too. Let's make us some money.
We'll bet on the Super Bowls for the next 10 years. All right, so number 38. Who wore 38?
Well, just because I just watched it, I know it's David Gilliam.
There we go.
Out of NASCAR.
We got one.
Well, but there you go. That's perfect, because that will dovetail into it was the biggest sports event over the last week, so we'll touch more likely Earl will touch on it briefly for a minute, but Super Bowl of racing held this weekend, which I've never understood why they have their big event first, but yeah, the Daytona 500 happened. Earl watched it, and apparently something kind of historic went down.
It was, I don't know why their Super Bowl of the NASCAR is first, but that's the standard for the rest of the racing season. Yeah, Kurt Busch won it. He's came runner-up, 3 different times, I think, but he's never won it. And Tony Stewart, if you're a racing fan, you know that name, Mr. Smoke, as he's called, owns the car that won. He owns Kurt Busch's car. Rich and Chris, you might know this. Tony Stewart killed a guy on a dirt track, I believe it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
And my question, too, is he still an active racer?
Oh, yeah.
So
he was.
How could he? I guess rules are different in racing, because it seems like Miguel Cabrera owning like the Cleveland Indians. Like, is that allowed? Like, or is that just how NASCAR is?
That's just how NASCAR is. There's none of that. Like Pete Rose betting on sports, yeah, that doesn't matter in NASCAR, because either you're going to drive and win or you're not. So, I mean,
shocking
the worst you
that
could
the
do is
regulations
not
are
finish.
loose about this stuff coming from a sport that started out of bootlegging. But go ahead.
That's right.
I get it, but I mean, conflict of interest does never come into play at any point, ever?
No. What conflict of interest would he have?
Kurt Busch and Tony Stewart racing against each other, perhaps.
Well, that would be like me asking you, is the Williams sisters a conflict of interest in the finals? They're siblings.
No, but they're not. But they're not on a team, I guess. Like in tennis, like in NASCAR, siblings. Like aren't you on a team and then someone else owns it? Like it, I don't know. It, you know, like if it seems like you could perhaps, if you're racing against another competitor, of if they have you have an interest in them winning, like things could get maybe a little not on the up and up.
Are you talking about like in Talladega Nights where he radios down and tells him to wreck Bobby?
Kind of. I mean, I'm saying if you own two cars on competing teams, it just seems conflict of interest would come into play. Like if one team's going to shit the bed, then maybe you can help the other team win.
Yeah, but that goes on even if you don't own the two teams, though.
I mean, well, I guess does Tony Stewart race for? Is he on the same team as Kurt Busch?
No, I don't think so. I don't think he races NASCAR anymore.
See, this is why I don't watch racing. This just seems... I'm getting caught up in the minutia of all this.
No, but that goes on even if they're competing race teams and there's no conflict of interest. Somebody might owe you a favor. You'd be like, hey, block this guy. It's been proven many times over that crew chiefs have, hooked up to make, certain people win.
Well, it is the most popular spectator sport in America, so I'm in the minority here.
You know what? It was so disappointing. The race in and of itself was so disappointing. There were big crashes, and most of the favorites went out. Dale Jr. went out. Jimmy Johnson's out. Danica Patrick out. I mean, these are people that didn't even finish the race. To put it to you, Chris, it would be, or Rich, either one, it would be like watching a Super Bowl without the starters.
It'd be like watching a Super Bowl filled with fourth preseason game players.
Right, exactly. And you're like, what the actual fuck? Funny enough, it worked out well in Kurt Busch's favor, though. But
it sounds to me like you're indirectly pointing out some flaws in NASCAR. Yay.
Well, it's not really flaws per se. It just... It's actually kind of cool because it gave lesser known people the chance to come up, and people were like, who the fuck is running there? But I mean, there were still favorites. Kurt Busch was a favorite of a lot of people. Joey Logano is a favorite of a lot of people there. He was in the mix near the end, but the really big names in NASCAR, you think big names NASCAR, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Jimmy Johnson. He's, won so many damn, cups. It's crazy.
Tony Stewart, even if it's only because he ran a guy over on a track. You know the name, yeah.
Right. But as a fan,
isn't it the Monster Energy 500 series as of this year? No longer the Sprint Cup?
Yeah, Monster. Ironically enough, Monster sponsored the event and the winning car. Go figure that out.
You know what? I'll at least give NASCAR points for not pretending to be anything that it isn't. They're like, look, our championship is paid by a sponsor. It's the ads are all over the cars, the ads are all over the uniforms. I mean, I guess I'll give them points for never claiming integrity. Like, hey, this is how it goes. This should cost money. Cars are expensive. Takes money. This is what happens.
Well, exactly.
When I was a little kid and I didn't know shit about smoking, I used to think it was called the Winston Cup. Like it's called the Stanley Cup. Like it's after somebody.
Yeah, it's the same here. I didn't until I was an adult. Like, oh, Winston cigarettes? Because I remember the big to-do, 10 or so years ago, it was no longer called the Winston Cup, and all the purists were up in arms.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Well, it was kind of shitty. It was kind of shitty,
20 years ago. But,
I mean, it really was.
I mean, same thing with, tobacco ads. I remember going to Tigers games seeing tobacco ads. You ain't going to see this shit no more. You see beer ads all over the place.
Yeah, but that was just kind of shitty. Just because everybody got butthurt about smoking and all of the smoking ban and shit, now you got to take away the lead sponsor of NASCAR? That was bullshit. And what really started pissing people off is you had to pull the sponsorship from your car.
You got to do it for the children, man. It's for the children.
The fuck with the children?
That's what I've been saying for years. They got to grow up sometime.
There's people that are sponsoring cars out there that kids have no business with. What about Budweiser, Miller Lite?
GoDaddy.com commercials.
GoDaddy.com car. Really? So they can't say that you have to pull Winston Cup because of the kids. Al Unser, do you guys know that name?
Yep.
He's a open wheel racer in the Indianapolis 500, Formula One racer. He was sponsored by Marlboro. His car was red and white, and the wing in the back said Marlboro. He had to pull it. His car just looked like a red and white looking Formula One car. Had no sponsorship at all.
Well, dude, I mean, this is America. We pick and choose what we get outraged by.
Yeah.
I mean,
case in point, I stopped drinking energy drinks probably almost 5 or 6, maybe even 7 years ago, just because they're not FDA approved. There's too many ingredients in there with over 10 letters. And I don't know. I was just of the mindset that, when they find out like taurine causes like rampant testicle cancer or something in like the next 10 or 20 years, or like, enlarged hearts when you're 50, like to think I'm ahead of that curve. I mean, I hear what you're saying, Earl. I mean, if you want to list poisons, I bet you cigarettes and energy drinks can go toe to toe.
But we're not gonna ban energy drinks. At least until we ban a few other things first.
Because the kids like them. The kids drink them, right? It's kid friendly.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Until the camera focuses on a car, you can't tell what the fuck the sponsor is anyway. It's going 200 miles an hour.
I remember watching a comedy show. I can't remember what it was. I think it might have been on HBO. It was talking about they wanted the show had a product they were trying to put out there, and they want to expand their brand, so they're going to sponsor a NASCAR driver. And I think they said something like they had $4,000 or $5,000. They said, "So how big is our sponsorship logo going to be?" And he goes over and he points to like something that's about the size of his hand. He goes, "You see that?" He goes, "Yeah, about half that size." They're like, "Oh, okay." So, I mean, yeah, until you get up close, you can't see shit on those fucking things.
Yeah, that's just, that's the political correct bullshit trying to...
That ain't politically correct. That's not, it was like that back in the day, bro. Don't pull this fucking card out because it's fucking conveniently at the top of your deck every 5 seconds with the millennial card. It's fucking been like that since I remember. Come on, dude. The more money you put into your sponsorship, the bigger your fucking shit gets on the car. You think STP was paying any less than anybody else to sponsor Richard Petty back in the day? Get the fuck out of here.
I don't think so. No. But what I'm saying is it's the political correct bullshit trying to dip into NASCAR, telling them they can't have Winston Cup, they can't have Marlboro, they can't have this. And
yeah, but come on, man. Advertising for cigarettes has been going downhill since we were like teenagers. I mean, when we were kids, you had Joe Camel, cigarettes were everywhere, but I mean, we were part of the generation. You couldn't advertise cigarettes on TV. You still can't. I mean, it's been around it's not all of a sudden, Earl. I mean, it's been around. Cigarettes, their days have been numbered since like the late 80s anyway. I mean, still, even look, you can advertise alcohol on TV. You still can't show someone drinking it. You could be like, buy this beer, drink it, it's refreshing. But, I mean, you've seen the Heineken commercials with NPH. He makes fun of it. He's like, I legally can't drink this on camera. And then he walks off camera and goes, this is a great beer. I mean, trust me, Earl, I'm with you on a lot of this shit. But I mean, as far as this, I mean, it's been around for a minute.
I just don't agree with it. I don't care how long it's been around. It will forever be known to me as the Winston Cup. I ain't calling it the Nextel Cup. I ain't calling it Sprint Cup. Because that starts to sound like sprint racing, and NASCAR is not sprint racing.
That's the way I grew up. That's the way I'm going to be.
Not your parsing language, man. That's not what they mean. It was a sponsor's name. Anyway, when you were a little kid, did you think Winston Churchill was the fucking guy who won the first NASCAR race? I mean, that's...
Do you know when I was a kid, I had no idea why it was called the Winston Cup when I was a kid?
10 minutes ago. Didn't we say that 10 minutes ago? I mean, I had no idea it was after a cigarette. And my grandfather was like deep into the NASCAR shit. We had fucking pit passes for Richard Petty when he was in fucking town.
Rich, you know this. My father smoked Winston's. I still didn't get it. I'm just saying, it's...
We have to be protected from ourselves, man. And and here's the deal. If it was really that bad, it'd be banned. But it makes somebody money, and it makes more money than it's worth. The product is worth more to the people who manufacture it than the lives that are lost by the people who consume it. And until that scale shifts, it's going to be this way. And that's America. It's American is Walmart, taxes, and death. So...
I love how Walmart is now thrown in there.
Yeah, the race though, it was a good race. It was actually a great race. It just sucked that a lot of the heavy favorites and a lot of the fan favorites went out. There's still, Michael Waltrip, Casey Kane, Joey Logano, Paul Menard, Kurt Busch. Right at the end, they were all up there. Chase Elliott.
Waltrip, is he like the son of or a grandson of another racer?
Are you talking about Darrell Waltrip?
Is that his father?
Yes, they're
or something?
related.
Okay, I was going to say, because that cannot be the same guy from when I was a kid.
No, that was Darrell Waltrip you're thinking of.
Gotcha.
That's DW. That's the guy at the beginning of every race that goes, boogity, 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 let's go racing.
Yeah, that sounds like he smoked a couple Marlboros and had a couple fucking Budweisers before he hopped in his car.
Sometimes the way he drove, people thought, maybe.
Dude, let's be honest here. Back in the day, that shit had to have happened. I mean, especially before NASCAR was like NASCAR. Them dudes sometimes, I bet you there was a couple flask in those cars at times.
Well, like you pointed out before, it was started by, bootleggers. Hello.
Exactly. Oh, shit. So our because in the group chat, because our listeners aren't part of the group chat, Ice, you decided to go ahead and shit all over Boogie there. So go ahead and get this over with.
No, he seems to have flopped. He got another technical, and when we talk about Boogie, we've shifted, folks, from NASCAR to basketball. He seems to have flopped. They've lost 4 straight since they got him. He got another technical foul and a 1-game suspension, and it's like, okay, whether he makes a difference in New Orleans or not, you can definitely see why they traded him.
And I guess, but I mean, you're calling the guy. It's been a week, man. It has been like maybe a little bit over. I mean, I'm going to put it maybe a little too close to. You can't call it yet. Granted, the things you said are correct as far as him getting the technical and that stuff. But at the same, I mean, new coach, new system, new players. As much as we shit on him, he ain't LeBron James. All right, you can't just go anywhere and instantly have an effect. I mean, I just think, trust me, we've talked about Cousins, a few times on the show, but I think after a little over a week, just calling him a flop is a little unfair to the guy.
Well, like I said, whether he's a flop or whether he makes a difference, either way, you can see why they have traded him.
I have to. A 1-game suspension, yet another technical, a 4-game losing streak. Doesn't seem like he's a good clubhouse guy at the very least. I'll say that. I don't know if I'm going to go so far as to say he's a flop because there is a period of adjustment, but I mean, come on, dude. You got to walk in and bring more to the table than that, especially if you're going to, with his reputation of being as much of a shit talker as he is.
Yeah, I mean, he's not doing people like me any favors or trying to defend him. I will concede that point.
Like I said, it's not a matter of defense.
The way he got traded was pretty shitty too. Found out in a press conference at the All-Star game.
Once again, though, Chris, look at his body of work. Look what he's doing, and the fact that he's continuing at the location he got traded to. I mean, that's just the type of player he is. That's who you got. You knew you were getting it. You got it, and you can't be surprised that happened. I guess is what I'm saying.
It could also be seen as a sign that Sacramento's giving up. They're going, all right, we're not going to do anything this season. what we've been doing isn't working. Let's start here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're giving up, but maybe a rebuild, definitely. And they saw it as, he's definitely kind of a poison. Like Rich said, he's not a clubhouse guy by any stretch of anybody's imagination. And his on-court antics is costing him, points and wins for that matter. I'm just saying, for the Kings to trade him, I mean, his first month, if you will, or not month, his first 2 weeks at a new place, it just proves that they were right. Does he change and go, I have seen the errors of my ways. I'm so sorry. Maybe. But as of yet, it's the same story, different place.
Well, he's definitely, when we talked about the trade, a few comparisons to, if we're looking on or if you're the Pelicans, and looking on the hopeful side, that maybe you could compare him to like what happened with Sheed when he came to Detroit. I don't think that team is anything like that going to work Pistons where Sheed walked in the locker room and they were like, yo, what's up? Yeah, you're our boy and all, but this is how we do shit here, and that shit ain't gonna fly. So doesn't seem like, he got the talking to that maybe Sheed did. Either that or he's just pissed that he got traded like he did, and he just is out there playing like he don't give a fuck.
Yeah, but the Pelicans aren't Detroit either. Detroit had Ben Wallace and Tayshaun Prince and Chauncey Billups that went up and made that speech. Pelicans don't have them people. They don't have anybody close to those people. They have one guy,
remember, this is
and
before
he ain't going to go up and talk to him.
Yeah, remember, that was before they won a championship. All right. And outside of Detroit, besides maybe Ben Wallace and Chauncey, hardly anyone knew who Rip and Tayshaun were. And they didn't give a fuck. More importantly.
Well, they kind of knew who Rip was because of what he did over in Washington.
But what I'm saying is, look back at that team when they went up against the Lakers in the finals. Nobody nationally gave them a shot. Nobody. And what happened? The 5-game sweep, as it's called around these parts. Right. So, I mean, it's just, that's where the comparison's coming from. It just doesn't seem like that team is built like the Pistons were, as far as, you ain't going to come in here with your bullshit and your nonsense and your big personality and overshadow the team. No one on this team is more important than the team. You know
what, though? I also want to put that on the coach, too, though.
I was going to say, maybe he's getting the talking to now. Like, hey, listen, dipshit, you just got here. You've already been suspended a game. You got a technical. Like, maybe he's getting it now. Maybe he's like, listen, I didn't want you. All right, Sacramento had to give me a fucking bag of basketballs with you to take you. Maybe he's getting it now. Who knows?
Well, either way, I mean, I think it's too early to fucking make a call one way or the other definitively. But if I'm Sacramento, weaker and some change after the trade, I'm sitting there going, I feel pretty comfortable with my decision. I mean, he's not giving them any reason to regret it so far.
Yeah, right. Now, with that being said, in other trade news in the NBA, who wants to bet on what the next thing LeBron's going to bitch about is now that he has his players?
Officials. I mean, that's an evergreen thing for LeBron anyways, right?
Well, I really want to see what he has to bitch about now because he's got, quote, the help.
Well,
his coach,
look, it's real simple. It's one of three things: his coach, his GM, or the officials. Because now he's got his, like you said, now he's got his help. He's never going to fucking say it's him. He's never going to blame himself. And hey, if he come out and he goes, hey, we lost because of me, well, prove me wrong. Okay, I'll be happy to eat my words. I got a salt and pepper shaker not that far from where I'm sitting. I could season it up real nice, but I just don't think that's likely.
I mean, he got his coach. All right, he did that 2 years ago. So now he's got his help. So what's going to be? Coach is off the list. Help is off the list. So that knocks coach and GM off. So I mean, is it just de facto officials at this point? Because he's got everything he's wanted out of his GM in the last 3 years.
I mean, if he went scorched earth policy, he could go after his coach or his GM, but I doubt he will because the GM's proved that team has proved they're going to bend over backwards to keep him happy and do their best to keep him there.
The team has bent over backwards.
Yeah, he got a winning coach fired.
Exactly. All right. So there's that. So unless he's really ignorant and he really is just completely tone deaf to the room, he's not going to bite the hand that's fed him constantly. So he's going to go after the officiating. And I think we can all agree that once the playoffs start, that's when we're probably going to hear it the most. I'm honestly surprised you don't hear about the officiating more than you do from the players in the NBA. Because the NBA is what? The only of the major 4 sports here in the States that have had flat out no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Referees get caught basically being crooked as fuck.
Yeah, didn't you notice how much of a non-story that seemed to be when that came out too? It was talked about for a couple days, maybe I'll even give it a week, and then it just seemed to just be swept under the rug. Did that happen to David? Yeah, that was David Stern, right? Because Silver's only new in the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, well, you can't tell me that there wasn't some behind the scenes, people calling in favors and, hey, look, I know you got to report the story, but let's not go crazy with it. And then on top of that, TBS, TNT, NBA has a lot more reach than, it probably honestly goes, as far as the sports, it goes football has the most. I would say NBA is in second just because TNT and TBS carry their games, regular season games. Baseball probably the lead or the next most, and NHL has no reach. NHL is just lucky they're on TV. So, it's not shocking that it was buried. It wasn't to me, at least. The NFL pretty much, except for that one game between Seattle and Green Bay, got away unscathed with their fucking ref bullshit, and that wasn't even as big of a scandal. It was just shitty refs who had no business being in that game. They were punching way above their fucking weight class.
Well, I guess I do want to qualify what I say with, I guess to sports fans, it wasn't so much swept under the rug, but in the general zeitgeist, all right? Everybody knows about Pete Rose getting caught for gambling, right? I'll bet you only people who follow sports could even tell you that the NBA scandal even happened, let alone tell you the guy's name, which is Tim Donaghy, right? But it just seemed like it didn't seem like it was made as big of a deal as it should have been made of when it happened. Because you're generally you were catching the games being rigged. It's probably the only sport where that's ever happened.
At least red-handed like that.
Yeah.
You have to go back to the Chicago Black Sox scandal I guess you could go to the Boston College point shaving scandal. And this is either the 70s or the 80s. But that's not pro sports. But yeah, in baseball, you got to go all the way back to that, to a team agreeing basically, or the key players on a team basically agreeing to throw a World Series. But that still isn't, to me, is not as bad as the refs or the umpires. Those are the guys that are supposed to be the most impartial. Those
are the guys keeping the game honest.
Yeah. In theory.
I would say, quote unquote, honest.
Iceman's dislike of LeBron James has been well documented on the show. But I gotta give him slack on this. If things don't go LeBron's way, I do think that the next group of people or whatever that he puts in his crosshairs are going to be the referees.
Well, yeah, because you guys also left out the commentators. He went after the commentators.
Well, and that's something in the NBA that, to me, is getting old. Okay, these NBA players really need to shut the fuck up and realize that commentators' job is to talk about what the fuck is going on in the sport. Not just what happens on the hardwood when the clock's running. I'm talking about the sport. Because it's ridiculous the amount of fucking guys coming out and talking shit about former NBA players. And I'm sitting there like, what the fuck have you done to talk shit about Shaq like that? Not a goddamn thing. You come out and talk shit. He couldn't hit a free throw, blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? How about this? You go up against him in your prime, and he goes up against you in his prime, and we'll see who fucking owns who.
Well, not just Shaq can't hear all that noise because his NBA rings
are plugging his ears.
Too much noise.
And he was never
all
put in
these
a
rings
position.
I got are too loud. What?
He was never put in a position where he had to hit the free throw either.
Exactly. He knew what he was. Shaq was very self-aware.
Which is something that seems to be lacking in a lot of these players who take exception to what's being said about them. I mean, this isn't a case of, it's not an isolated case of, okay, let's be honest here. A guy like Charles Barkley, when you hire a guy like Charles Barkley, you know what you're getting. You're getting a guy who's going to say inflammatory things, who's going to say outrageous, outlandish shit at times. And that's part of the appeal of having someone like Charles Barkley as a commentator. But they're going after anybody who dares say anything less than, oh, they're the GOAT. And it's just, it's ridiculous. Cut it the fuck out. Grow up. Grow some thicker skin. Go home and dry your tears off with that big contract you got, all right? No one wants to hear this shit.
Yeah, it's not like the media is a surprise to you if you're a professional athlete. You've been talking to reporters since you were in fucking high school, all right? Everybody you idolized when you were growing up had to deal with the media, all right? You know who Marv Albert is. You know who Howard Cosell was. You know who Bob Costas is, all right? You know who all these sideline reporters are. You know who fucking Chris Berman is. This isn't new. It wasn't like you got drafted and they went, oh, hey, by the way, something we didn't tell you. You have to deal with the media. Comes with the territory, guys.
Well, not just that. And this point has been made over and over again. LeBron James is the defending NBA champion. Why all of a sudden does he need help? Why? For what? You won. You have the exact same team you won with.
Because he didn't win easily. Look, dude, we've gone up and down this fucking subject to the point where it's not even a dead horse, it's dust and bones. We're literally kicking dust that used to be bones on this subject. And the only thing that we have never said that I can think of, because we went from his mindset to he's not as self-confident as he projects and everywhere and all this bullshit. He wants to win. He wants to sweep every team in every round until he's handed the fucking championship trophy. It's the only other thing that we haven't fucking said. And guess what? It's just not realistic, man. As much as I'm not a fan of the NBA for a lot of the shit the rules they've changed in the last 25, 30 years, the one thing I will say about the NBA is the NBA playoffs are no bullshit, just like the NHL playoffs. It's a fucking grind. It's almost a mini season after you just played 82 games or whatever it is.
Yeah, those are both sets of playoffs where you get like halfway through them, you're like, Jesus, these things are still going on? You realize they're only halfway done.
Exactly. So it's not baseball, where before they had the game, the 1 game wild card playoffs where, you had a best of 5, a best of 7, and in the World Series best of 7. And before that, you had literally a best of 7 and a best of 7. You had your East versus West in the AL and the NL, and then you had the World Series. It's not that, and it's not college basketball. It's not pro football. It's not one and done. It's a fucking grind. And it's all there is to it, dude. You keep asking the same question every week, Earl, and at this point, I'm starting to get annoyed with the question.
Well, the only reason I ask you, keep saying the same shit. He keeps coming on and complaining about different people at different times. For what? Every time I say that shit, and I keep saying it, and I keep talking about it, and I keep telling you how much I dislike him, he comes out and does something else. I'm just going to stop talking about the motherfucker.
Dude, I don't know. What are your theories? I mean, because, dude, we throw it out there, we brainstorm on it, we waste so much fucking time on this shit, and we get nowhere because the next week we're doing the same thing starting from square one.
Because he comes out and does something else stupid, or says something else stupid.
Well, I think this week the conversation started like he's got his help. What's he going to complain about now? So that was a waiting game, really. Just take bets.
Yeah, and it's not if, it's when.
I got 20 on the officials. Oh wait, he the fans. That's another person, another group you can talk shit about. We talked about the officials. We talked about the commentators, the fans. He get in the fans' ass, but we'll see.
After the way he left Cleveland, that would be a terrible, terrible idea. But hey, it is LeBron, so.
Yeah. Let's see what else going on in the NBA. Did we pretty much cover? Because it seems that Rich, you set a pretty good trade deadline looming in the NBA. Not much happening.
Well, there was that story that about the high school wrestler.
Yeah, you guys seem to know about this. I don't. I think I might have heard something about it, but something about a transgender wrestler.
Well, I'll defer to Earl on this one because he seems to know the most about it.
No, I posted the article in our private chat. It's the guy, the girl, if you will, wanted to wrestle.
Girl going to guy.
Right. She
clarify for everyone. All right.
I'm sorry, everybody. I'm not politically correct. I don't know if to call him or her or she. I don't know. Whatever. The wrestler wanted to wrestle with the boys. He started out as a girl. They wouldn't. The laws of Texas wouldn't allow the female to wrestle with the males. So the parents of this child decided to let her become a him and start injecting testosterone and start the change into becoming a man. The problem with all of that is, like I said, the laws in Texas won't allow a female to wrestle with a male. I don't care if you go get your boobs cut off, get your penis added, doesn't matter. You have to wrestle with the gender that is on your birth certificate.
Yeah, that's how I heard the law described word for word.
So even with all the testosterone and hormones and everything she injected, they still wouldn't let her wrestle with the boys. So she wrestled with the females. She went undefeated and won championships, honestly.
What do you mean? A female injected with testosterone whooped everybody's ass in a female division? No way.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm with, it's transgender. You want to live your truth, rock and roll. It's a free country. You're allowed to. Things are swinging your way. But, I mean, there's part of me that was thinking while you were telling this story, you know what? Let them wrestle, all right? Let the transgender wrestle with the boys, all right? Let her/him get her ass kicked. And then maybe this will calm down some of this noise. Is you have to let me do this because, yes, great. But we've talked about it on unregimented, Rich. All right. Bone density is bigger. All right. You have more muscle mass. All right. You are, in some cases, you are physically stronger. You're more physically dominant. I mean, it's the reason there's weight classes with men. I mean, I'm in the middle on this. You want to do your thing, great, but at the same time, you want to be treated like everybody. Let's treat you like everybody. Show you that, hey, guess what? We're not all equal. As much as we want to believe it, as much as we think it's possible, we're not all equal. We're not. Right. Some people are bigger than others. And I think letting that kid get their ass whooped would probably serve more of a purpose. That's just me.
Here's the problem. There's a problem on a couple of levels for me on this. One, fair play. Even if even if the wrestler wrestled with the boys, okay, she might beat him because of all the injections she's doing to her body. I mean, that's just like the PED boys in baseball. All of a sudden they're hitting harder. That's going further. They're getting more home runs. So, the fair play of this person, this wrestler wrestling on either side, male or female, is thrown out because of all the injections they're putting in their body.
Strangely, Earl, I see your point. Because you could make the argument of, well, if that wrestler is injecting testosterone, why can't I inject testosterone?
Well, it's not just the testosterone that she's adding. She's adding a lot of male hormones and a lot of things that would increase her strength and endurance, because us as men just naturally produce those chemicals. And if you want to be a man, well, you have to have those chemicals. And if you're a woman, well, you have to inject those chemicals. And if you inject those chemicals at a higher rate than what us as men actually produce naturally, well, then you got an unfair advantage. I mean, that's so the fair play of whether she wrestled in either male or female is one of my problems. My second issue is I don't think she's old enough.
Yeah, we're simpatico on this one because we've talked about this on Unregimented. I think messing with your body's chemistry before it's done cooking is wrong. And let your body finish and then start altering it.
Well, not just your body, your mind. You might change your mind. She's in high school. What happens when she reaches 21 and decides, you know what, I wanted to be a female. Why did I do this?
Well, let's try to tackle our talking points about this subject one at a time here. First one is I don't really know dick about high school wrestling, so I defer to people who know a lot more about the sport. one of the people who I listen to his podcast a lot is Joe Rogan. And Joe Rogan has talked about, apparently in MMA, there was a male who transitioned to female and was allowed to fight against the females. And apparently this fighter was just crushing the competition to the point where even hardcore MMA supporters were like, and hardcore, people under the, who were like supporting, look, he wants to transition to a female and wants to be called a female. I respect his wishes. He's a female, whatever. But this looks like domestic violence. This looks like a man with long hair straddling a woman on the ground and beating the shit out of her. Because when two women fight who are, let's say, average woman's height in this country is somewhere around 5'6". Okay, so let's say you got two women that are fighting that's 5'6". When you're watching it, even on a huge TV, they may look big, but you know that they're around the same size. Average height for a man in this country is 6 foot. All right, so let's put him at under average. Let's say he's 5'10". Okay, so he's got a 4-inch height advantage. He's got the fact that his bone density does not change, his muscle mass doesn't change, and now he's grounding and pounding some chick who is, if she's of average height and build, she's already given up a ton of weight and reach on him. So, even Joe Rogan, who is a commentator for UFC, that's his bread and butter, that's his paycheck, that's basically how he makes his living, has spoke out against their decision to do that. That tells me that as someone who has trained in different disciplines of martial arts and striking since he was like 10, 11, 12 years old, for him to speak out against a possible paycheck because he feels it's wrong, I have to defer to his knowledge, and it tells me that, sorry, you probably shouldn't be competing against people of your opposite gender just because you've transitioned. Because we all know what would have happened if this wrestler who transitioned from female to male had stepped into a ring and gotten seriously injured by a birth sex male. All hell would break loose.
Well, my question is where's your line then? Not to you, Rich, just rhetorically. Do you want people who transition to be treated equally, or do you want them to get special treatment? Do you not want to project the image of domestic violence? You can't have it both ways.
Okay,
what are you going for here?
Here's my problem. How do you treat them, quote, fairly, but not infringe on the rights of the naturally born?
Let them fight. Because one thing I'll play devil's advocate with your supplement argument, Earl, is you can argue that those gentlemen don't also have estrogen floating around in their system and things in their body actively producing estrogen. So you could argue that's like strike one against the person transitioning to male is they got an extra chemical kicking around in their body. So, I mean, I'm playing devil's advocate with that argument. I'm saying let them get their ass whooped.
I agree with Chris.
Equal treatment is your goal. Let them get their ass whooped.
I agree with Chris on this, and we've said it before on the show. It was before you joined, Earl. And I don't even think we brought up transgender, whatever the word is at the moment, because it'll change probably in a couple days. That's acceptable. I think we were just talking about co-ed sports, and I said, okay, this is the real simple way to handle this. You're in high school. You're a female. You want to play on a traditionally male football team. Okay, your parents sign a waiver. No matter how bad you're hurt, injured, even if you're killed, you are solely responsible for your own choice. That's it. And since they're a minor, it falls on the parents. And the parents, if they sign that paper, they have no recourse to go after anybody. Go play. Because then you're going to find out if that person, one, really wants to play, and two, can hang. Because I'll make this argument. There's some females that we knew growing up, Earl, who were bigger than some teams, any lineman, defensive or offensive lineman, on teams that you played against. I'm thinking of one in particular whose name starts with is the same, shares her name with a month of the year.
I got you. But
okay.
That's also the thing that people are missing is women and okay, it'll be my opinion. I believe women don't have the same competitiveness that men do. I don't, not to say that women aren't competitive or that they don't want to win. I believe they do. But men will come onto a football field or a wrestling ring and want to hurt, kill, maim the other person. Whatever it takes to get my hand raised in the air. I don't feel women have that. Some might, but the majority won't.
Oh, Earl, you're straying into territory of men and women are created different and wired different. And come on, Earl, we're all the same now. It's our new society.
No, I don't know.
I'm being sarcastic. I agree with you. Men and women are wired different. And if you fucking deny it, then you deny fucking biology because it's been proven.
You know, one of the things I think is interesting, and I don't know the details, so I'm not going to claim that I'm speaking as an expert on this incident, but it was severely underreported, but it was reported in certain news outlets, is a straight female her dream was to grow up and play professional basketball. And she realized her dream. She was drafted and she played in the WNBA. And she said, I was the only straight female in my locker room, and I was harassed and singled out and fucked with constantly. What are you here for, bitch? This ain't for you. This is for us. Because everybody else on the team was gay. And she said, I'd never experienced that before. Now, just throwing this out there, I don't have anything backing it up. I'm literally pulling it out my ass. Seems to me that kill or be killed competitive spirit you're talking about sounds like the team that she joined. A lot of them women had that type of mentality, and she really didn't. She was coming from more of the what is the word? Traditional. I don't know. Let's work as a team. Let's do this. I mean, I can tell you one thing right now. Having played sports, having been around a bunch of fucking jocks all my life, jocks compete with everything. Everything is a contest. It is annoyingly so. There is never just you sitting next to him and him sitting next to you and you guys are doing the same thing. That in a person who's ultra competitive's mind, that is a competition. They don't even see it. You could be sitting there eating. You're both eating the exact same meal, and it's a competition to him.
Right now, it's JD and Turk playing steak.
Yes. Who could? Earl and I did this. Fucking, his dad would go, "Are you boys hungry?" Yes, and he'd order up a stuffed crust pizza, and Earl would say, I can eat a whole stuffed crust pizza by myself. And I'd say, you can't eat a whole stuffed crust pizza by himself. And his dad would order 2 large stuffed crust pizzas, and Earl would have to sit there and make himself sick trying to eat the whole fucking thing. I know this because I've seen this. I've witnessed this. I've been through this. I've been on both sides of it. I've been on the eye-rolling side, and I've been on the, I'm either going to do this or I'm going to fucking throw up or make myself sick, pass out, or die trying.
Right. And you've also watched me and you've commented on this show about how I used to try to arm wrestle everybody.
Constantly.
Right.
Constantly.
Women don't do that shit.
For the most part. And the ones that are out there
with the basketball team you're talking about, it sounded like they were entitled. It didn't sound like they were there to have kill or be killed. When I'm talking about that, Rich, I'm talking about going out there and going, all right, either you're going to die or I'm going to die trying. One or the other. One of those two things are going to happen. I don't see a woman coming on a football field or a wrestling match and having that mentality. They're coming out there with the, all right, well, let's see what we can do. We're going to try it our best and see what happens.
Part of it, too, when I hear this, I kind of flash back to Mean Girls. And, yeah, well, I'll just say it. It could be more maybe were these women being catty. I mean, we've known women, right? I'm sure we've all met a woman before, hung out with a woman or two, went to school with them. Women, when they find the weak one, I mean, they gang up and they fucking, I mean, they'll make that one chick's life hell when they've decided one person is not on the island. I mean, could this be a little bit of that too?
And there, for the grace of God, it's not me mentality.
The cruelest, non-sociopathic, non-criminal, not in prison people I've ever met are teenage females.
I was about to say middle school girls.
Yeah. They make, not in violence, not in physical violence at least, but in mental and verbal abuse, they make drill instructors from the Full Metal Jacket era look like they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
That's seen how you get the Catch Me Outside. How about that? That's where you get that.
Well, girls and women, they're masters of insecurity. Like, they will find, and to be fair, they don't just do it to their own kind, they do it to us too. They will find the one, they won't even be a dick about it. They'll be passive aggressive about it. They'll find like this one question that they know will just fucking eat at your soul. Something as simple as like, it's just an example that I'm thinking of, but something like, oh, are you going to wear that? Like something like that. Like, it's passive aggressive as shit, and it will just get in under your skin and drive you insane. Like, they are the masters of that shit. Come on, you guys have been married. You know what I'm talking about.
I think I was on the show when I brought this up. In Oregon, there was a male athlete that was a track star that transgendered in high school and ran with the women. Did I mention that on this show?
Yeah, and did you see just broke all kinds of records?
Yeah,
everybody's ass.
Well, he transitioned from male to female?
Right.
Okay. For some reason, I heard that the opposite. I'm like, I find it hard to believe, but if the opposite makes sense.
No, yeah, he killed, or she, the runner. I don't know how to fucking, I'm not.
Look, I'm just going to tell you, because instead of going through this every 5 minutes on this subject, because this subject is going nowhere, even though
whatever they became, you use that pronoun, Earl.
That's their preferred pronoun. If you choose not to use it, then call them by their birth sex and be prepared that if the wrong person hears it one day, you're going to hear it. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. Well, anyways, she killed him. And that because of the Texas law, this wrestler wasn't allowed to wrestle with the boys, so she stayed with the girls, and she killed him.
Now, here's where it gets interesting, because she's born a female. She transitioned to male, so she got to wrestle. According to the law, she has to wrestle with the females, and she kicked ass. Okay. Do you think that result would have been the same if she was allowed to wrestle with the males?
I have no idea.
I mean, that's because that's where the rubber meets the road in this topic for me, is that if we're going to act, and yes, and you can send your hate mail directly to our Facebook page. You can, if you can find it.
At ChristopherMedia.net, if you want to go the email route. We'll read it out loud.
The meat of this issue is, okay, we're going to act like we're all created 100% equal. That's not the truth. Yes, we all have equal rights, but we're all created unequal. Okay, there's a difference between equality in outcome and equity from the get-go. Everybody's starting from the same starting line. You're not guaranteed you're all going to finish at the same time just because you started from the same starting line. Life, and whether you believe in God, Buddha, Allah, whoever the fuck is your imaginary friend, or if you're just one of these people that are like, oh, the universe, oh yeah, and all this bullshit, whatever you believe in, it ain't fair, and it don't care about your feelings, and it doesn't care about being fair. In fact, it is completely, you are irrelevant to it. So the hand you are dealt, you have to play. Now, if you choose to go, I want to turn in all my cards, and we as a society let you, and you go, okay, so you were born a woman, but you think you were a man? Okay, you're now a man. We're going to give you hormones. We're going to give you surgery, and ta-da, here you go. You can even change your birth certificate if you want. That's fine. But where the rubber meets the road is, now that you're a man, go fight other men. Go wrestle other men. Go play against other men. Because you're going to find out something that a lot of guys handing out water on the sidelines in high school found out. They're not good enough to be on the team.
Ding, ding, ding. There you go, everybody. That's, sports is demonized in our society so much, and I don't understand why. I mean, I do to a point, but it teaches us, once again, talk about well-worn carpet, it teaches us at the beginning of life, one of the fundamental keys to this conversation and life. Life isn't fair. Sometimes somebody's better than you at something. Where's the line here? Are we going to start fucking talking about inequality for smaller sized dudes? Like, that's the thing. Is life now unfair to me because I was born smaller than Earl? No.
I was just thinking tall people now have to wrestle on their knees.
Yeah, I know, right? Only 6 foot people can fight 6 foot people. Only 5'5" people can fight 5'5" people. I mean, you could argue that's what they do with weight classes, but I guess I say it all the time on pretty much every podcast I do. Where is the line? Where is your line? Because you have a line here, you got a line over here, you got a line here. All right? There's consistency, man. That's all I'm looking for. Consistency. But as I've learned in 3 years of doing podcasts, that ship has fucking sailed. That shit ain't happening.
No, people have taken the phrase, you can be anything you want to be, and they've taken that to a whole new extreme. Oh, I can be anything I want to be? Well, I want to be a supermodel. Dude, you've got more chest hair than a grizzly bear. Well, I want to be a supermodel. I can be whatever I want to be. Man. And it's just...
You're 350 pounds and have back hair. You cannot be a Calvin Klein underwear model.
Unless you transition to a female. Unless you transition to a female, then you're a big, beautiful woman, which is interesting. I'm just going to throw this out here. There was a 5'2", 280-pound female who was recently signed to one of the major modeling agencies. Test something or another. And everybody stood up and cheered. What a breakthrough for the average woman. 5'2", 280 pounds. It's not average. It's morbidly obese. Now, just recently in the last couple of weeks,
that's a huge bitch.
The world's first plus-size male model was signed.
Well, I was about to ask, how come they're standing up and cheering? Where's models that look like you, Rich? Where's models that look like Big Rob?
Hold on. Let me get to it.
Where's our line here?
Okay, the first plus-size male model was signed by a major modeling agency. He's 6'6", 220 pounds.
Oh yeah, that's average.
That's a fucking NFL player. And
that's 6'2", not plus size.
220. That ain't plus size. That's big and tall.
Exactly. That's about the normal weight for a guy who's 6'6", who's athletic.
What's he? 225.
He looks like a fucking lumberjack.
215, and I'm not fucking plus size. What are you fucking talking about?
So in answer to the question that was asked earlier that somehow got glossed over, okay, and we've covered it on Unregimented. The problem is you have people who want equality, but they want their set-asides too, and you can't. That's the antithesis of the definition of equality.
Yes.
All right. You have to make up your mind. Do you want true equality, or do you want rational ways of dealing with things using logic and reason and rationality? Because true equality goes against everything in nature, in any religious text you read, bottom line, everything. So if we are all created exactly equal and will stay that way to the day we die, no matter what, then we all are going to have to start pretending a lot more even than we did when we were kids and played cops and robbers.
Yeah, Rich, the set-asides. I think you were the one that brought that up maybe in another podcast. I think you were saying it was someone who was talking about affirmative action, like Bernie Mac or something like that.
Yeah. That's exactly where I got that phrase from, Bernie Mac.
Yeah, it talks about, affirmative action is giving you your set-asides. Like, we think we should be equal, but here's the quota. Bernie Mac was like, no, that's not how this works. If equality is your true goal, getting something because you view yourself in a protected class, to me it goes under the thing of I am highlighting my difference to prove I am equal to you. Doesn't make sense.
Well, I mean, obviously no one in the Texas high school board of athletics or whatever the fuck it's called is going to give a shit about what we got to say. But maybe it's a good thing I'm not on that. I'm not the deciding member, because I'd have said, let him, since he's transitioned, wrestle with the boys. And here, you're going to sign this paperwork, and if he gets his arm pulled out of socket, or he gets his neck broke because he gets slammed by someone and he has to wrestle in his weight class, by the way. None of this fucking you're showing up weighing in at 150 and we're going to put you against a guy who weighs 115. No. You wrestle against your weight class. And if he gets thrown around like a rag doll and fucked up, that's on the parents for signing that paperwork, because you know what? We're going to teach people one way or the other. You go and learn today. You want things so fucking bad. Be careful what you wish for, because sometimes you just might fucking get them.
Yeah, I mean, you could stand over that person's folded ass after they get their ass beat and go, "This is what you wanted."
And just to clear up, I'm not against people fucking transitioning and whatever the fuck. I fall under what does it have to do with me? How does it affect me? Your rights to do what you want to yourself, and when it infringes upon my rights. Her transitioning to a male does not infringe upon my rights whatsoever. Her insisting to be treated like a male, okay, we're going to treat you like a male. And guess what? There's one thing, first thing you're going to learn. Let me tell you something. If there's, for whatever reason, if there's a female out there listening who feels she was born in the wrong gender and wants to transition to male, I'm going to tell you the first lesson you better learn, and you better learn it quick. Guys, keep each other in line with violence and the threat of. You don't talk shit because you know you'll get your ass kicked. If you do talk shit, you better back it up, because that protection you've had as a female all your life is gone the minute someone says, you're a motherfucking asshole. You're one of us now. So,
no, and I'll clarify too. I'm not against people transitioning either. I'm just against. I stated it before, and I'll just restate it. I'm against of treat me equal, but treat me special at the same time. That's what I'm against. You want to be equal? We'll treat you equal, but don't tell me to treat you equal and then want all this special treatment, because it flies in the face of everything you're asking for when you're asking for equality.
Earl, let me ask you a question. Did it say in the story at all how the parents of the girls that had to wrestle against this guy who had transitioned, how they felt about it?
Yeah, they didn't want to. There was a couple of parents that didn't let their child wrestle because they felt that he was cheating, because he put all of these chemicals in his body to transition, and now he has to be with the females. So it's unfair. And more so that some of them thought that they would hurt their daughter because of all the chemicals and things that got put in his body.
Well, chemicals, hormones, first of all, but
not just hormones. He also took steroids for muscle mass.
Okay, well, what I'm getting at is that none of these parents' concerns were taken into consideration when the decision was made. The decision was basically, okay, your daughter, who's worked so hard to be a female wrestler up to this point, can either wrestle a female who's now transitioned or can kiss her wrestling career goodbye.
No, it's a state law, Rich. They don't.
Listen to me. Listen to what I said.
Oh, the parents?
Yes, this is what was told to the parents. Your daughter can either wrestle a transition female to male or she can kiss her wrestling career goodbye.
Yeah, and the parents were like, fine, then we just won't wrestle. And it was just this year in this tournament that they were talking about, so they were okay with it. No, they're not going to let their daughter get in the ring and wrestle this person. Absolutely not.
Okay, and right there, one of the tenets of classical liberalism, not this regressive left, not the far left that we're being inundated with and pushed on us as the norm these days. They're not. They're as whacked out as the wacky far right people. Make no mistake. But what I'm getting at is one of the classical tenets of liberalism is the good of the many outweigh the good of the few or the one. All right?
Not anymore.
So more people. So these girls either had to risk serious bodily injury by wrestling someone who is amped up on hormones that are not naturally occurring in their own bodies when they set foot on that mat to wrestle, which could possibly cost them scholarships, their choice in college, that otherwise, if they had to wrestle a gender-born female, they would have had at least a level playing ground. Okay, so Texas, by trying to make that point, basically gave in to what is being referred to by certain people as the snowflakes, because this guy who transitioned from female and is now wrestling just got the easiest way to become a champion that he could have gotten in high school. I mean, and right there, if I'm him, that has to be a hollow victory. Who did I wrestle? I didn't wrestle people who I feel I am. I mean, if I went to go out to wrestle me, born as a male, and they said, you're going to wrestle all females, I would be like insulted. What, you don't think I'm good enough to get in there with the guys?
Yeah. I'd probably be the same way. Like, oh, what? Huh? This I'm winning?
I mean, so there's a whole lot of layers to this story, and none of them are pretty. And really, I don't see anyone coming out for the better in this. The girls who had worked and trained to wrestle up to that point had to make a decision to either piss away all that training and all that sacrifice they made to get to where they were, or wrestle someone who has an advantage, or wrestle them, get beat, possibly even injured. And this kid, he didn't prove anything. I don't know how anyone from the transgender community could hold him up as some sort of shining example, because ultimately he didn't prove that he's equal to the men that he transitioned to their gender. All he proved is If you're born a female and we jack you up on hormones and chemicals, whatever, you can probably beat a bunch of little fucking girls in high school. Congratulations. It's a no-win situation. It's America's favorite game. Heads you lose, tails they win. It's the game we love playing. We love setting people up to fail. We used to love watching people rise to the top because we love to tear them down, but the only thing we love more than tearing them down was a comeback. We don't even love that anymore. We just want everybody to fail. And it's disgusting.
Yeah, we just love kicking you now. Hey, you're getting back up. Just kick them. Never even give them a chance to come back now.
Kick them
immediately.
You know, so as far as I'm concerned, any of the parents involved in this situation for the girls, they have a lot of my empathy and compassion. Okay, this guy, he's got it to a lesser extent because, I mean, unless he refused to wrestle the boys, if the state said go ahead and wrestle with the boys, then he would have none of my empathy or compassion. I mean, fuck him. Basically, you wanted an unfair advantage. But if he was willing to, and he went out there and did it, hey, you know what? Take your wins and losses like everybody else. Because the one thing we haven't talked about is maybe he would have went in there and cleaned all them boys' clocks. You never fucking know.
I said that. I said that because he's got high levels of testosterone and hormones that men can't naturally produce. So he might have. I mean, he might even have had a disadvantage or an advantage over the boys.
And the more we talk about it, I think they took the fight to the wrong place. I think this guy should have refused to wrestle. Said, "No, I'm not a girl anymore. I'm a male. I want to wrestle with the males." Should have took it to like the Texas Supreme Court. I mean, that to me, they took the fight to the wrong place.
My problem with this whole thing is if you're gonna change your gender or whatever, that's fine. And just like Rich said, I don't care as long as it doesn't infringe upon me. However, when you start talking about competing in a sport, you're infringing upon everybody else, regardless whether you stay with the gender you were born with or the one you transition to. You're still infringing upon their rights of fair play. If he would have stayed with the women, which he did, he killed them, okay? If he'd have went to the men, he still had an advantage because of all the chemicals he's injected that the boys at the high school level haven't been able to produce yet. So
and when I'd like to ask this kid, what is important to you? Because actions speak louder than words. Now you're making all this noise about I'm not allowed to wrestle with the boys, but go back to what I just said. What's more important to you? Did you want to wrestle or do you want to be treated equally? Because your actions are saying you just wanted to wrestle. Because, like I said, you took the fight to the wrong place. If your goal was true equality, you just said, I'm not wrestling, I'm going to the media, I'm taking this to court. But instead, it seemed like just the interest was just to keep wrestling. So now I'm wondering, whose agenda is this really? Is it the parents of the kid? Is it the kid's agenda? Is it the school system? Who the fuck knows now?
I'm just saying, if you're going to transgender, fine. But you can't bring that into a competitive sport. You just can't. There's no fair way to do it.
Okay, well, they have. So can't is gone. That ship, bye-bye. It's sailed, dude. You're pissing into a fucking ceiling fan talking about fucking spilled milk. It's useless. The point is that nothing was won. This was a fight that nothing was won. Everybody lost. Everybody. And as anyone who is a sports fan, that has to piss people off. That is the opposite of the point of sports. You don't play sports so everybody comes in last. No one won. No ground was broken for transgendered people. No ground was broken in changing the laws in Texas. These girls' careers, wrestling careers, might have been injured. I don't know. I'm gonna tell you what. If I'm sitting if I'm an athletic director or if I'm a wrestling coach in a college and her application comes across my desk, and I look at it and I say, okay, she won, she lost. Well, who'd she lose to? Oh, she lost to that guy who transitioned. Well, we're just going to scratch that off her record as far as I'm concerned because that was unfair. But there's a lot of people out there, I'm sure we all know, who won't do that. So who knows how this is going to affect people in the long run. And what is this guy going to do? Is he going to wrestle in the college? Okay, so he's going to go to a college outside of the state of Texas? Then what? Let's say he does wrestle someplace where they let him wrestle boys. and he gets fucking his clock cleaned. He didn't win anything. His fight, Chris is right, his fight and a way to take a stand would have been to say, no, I'm not wrestling a bunch of females. I've transitioned to male. I want to wrestle the men. But for whatever reason, it was more important to win than it was to actually win fairly or with any type of honor in the situation, which goes back to what you were saying earlier. Girls don't have it. Sounds like a pretty much a alpha male thing to me. I won by any means necessary. So there's one that proves you wrong.
Who was hopped up on hormones of testosterone.
What's that?
Yeah.
I was going to say, maybe it comes with the hormones.
Exactly. Surprise, surprise. Biology has something to do with shit.
Oh, Rich, we're straying off. Everyone's the same narrative.
I know. Sorry, I didn't mean to bring science and facts into this fucking discussion.
No, I can't talk like science and facts anymore. That's like the main lesson from 2016.
Like I said, I agree with you both,
Facts.
and I take it a step further and say, if you're going to transition, you can't bring it to the sports world fairly. Rich, you said they have, and that's fine.
No,
but
they brought it to the sports world. To me, there's no fairness in any of this.
There isn't. There really isn't. There will never be, and there really can't be. There can't.
If you're having a little requiem for the fact that there's no fairness in this situation, I understand that. But the fact that they brought it into the sports world, that ship's done sailed. It's done. This is.
Oh yeah.
This is the tip of the spear, and the rest of it's coming through your ass in a heartbeat. Believe that. Anybody listening that thinks this is going to be a one-time only thing, you're fooling yourself.
Well, no, that's why I said, I brought back up the person in the woman in the track and field in Oregon that transitioned, and dominated the women, was able to compete with who he transitioned to and dominated. There will never be a fairness allowed when people transition. And
yeah, because that's you're right. That's the other side of that equation. This is person allowed to cross line, whoops everybody's ass, as opposed to the Texas situation is the reverse. Transitions, not allowed to cross line, still whoops everybody's ass. So I get where you're coming from with the fairness, Earl. I do.
My last point and problem is the fact that they're transitioning at such a young age. Because Rich, Chris, I'm sure you guys have been addicted and thought, I want to do this for the rest of my life, or, I want to have this, in my life forever, be it a tattoo or whatever. And then you get older and you're like, oh my God, what was I thinking?
The fuck was I thinking?
Right, and you're looking at a picture.
I'll give you that too. Talk to us at 16. Talk to us at 26. Talk to us at 36. You are getting 3 different answers.
Earl, right. I will say this: that is an excellent point, and it's a very valid subject and concern. The problem is, if we go down that rabbit hole on this podcast, unless you got another 3 hours from this point on, we're not going to get to any other subject if we try to keep it to our regular time limit. I totally understand where you're coming from, though. I agree with you. I'll just leave it at that. Let me just say this, and then I will do my best to bite my tongue unless you guys verbally date rape me and force me to talk about it from after this. If you are a parent of a 10, 11, 12-year-old and you won't let them won't let them go to a shooting range and shoot a firearm because you don't trust them enough, why are you giving your kids hormones to change their sex at that age? Because they said so? Okay, when I was 10, 11, 12, I could say a lot of things. Doesn't mean I was ready for it. When
I was 10 and 11, 12, I think eating Cinnamon Crunch for every meal was a good fucking idea. All right? It's not. Yeah, I could subsist on candy bars. No, it's good. It's all food. No, horrible idea.
But speaking of transitioning of another sort, the NHL trade deadline has been stupid active this fucking year. I am actually shocked at how active it's been. Chris, I know you said that 2 of the goalies, because I guess the big one going back would be to the 26th. We're recording on the 28th today. Would be the Kings getting Bishop for Budai and Cernak from the Lightning, along with a 7th round pick and a 2017 conditional pick.
And that's it. That fucked my hockey team up because I know Budai ain't starting anymore. Motherfucker. he was starting for Quick. And now he's probably going to go warm the bench in Tampa Bay. But
I know Earl, you'd asked in the group chat what the fuck was this trade about. To me, this is a trade that it's a oh shit, just in case trade, and I don't understand it because
wasn't Quick supposed to be back by now?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I guess the worry is if he comes back and he re-injures himself some point, they want to have a very solid backup. Well, Budai played you into what? Within 3 games of a wild card spot since Quick's been gone?
He's my best goalie all year. Bishop was a non-factor in January. I think he's been injured twice this year already. And I had, Craig Anderson from Ottawa, who's been dealing with his wife's shit. But, yeah, I mean, I guess because the goalie with an A in Tampa Bay, he's the future. You know, I guess Bishop's kind of, I don't want to say worn out his welcome, but I think Stevie Y kind of saw him, get rid of him now while the stock's still high-ish.
Well, yeah, because you have to remember, after this season, there's going to be an expansion draft. And he wasn't going to be able to protect all his goalies that he wanted to protect. And so you might as well get something for Bishop while you can. So from that point of view, it makes sense. From Tampa Bay's point of view, from LA, they're just trying to cover their ass. They're betting on Bishop being a better goalie than the one they gave up. And it seems like they're obviously playing for – now, I could be wrong. And if we do have any hardcore hockey fans – I should have prefaced this entire conversation. I don't know how to pronounce half these guys' names because some of these guys, when we get later on, when you get into Kevin Shattenkirk and stuff, of course, they're named players. Some of these guys, I'm like, I don't even know how to pronounce their names. But I'm also going to say, back in the day, the conditional pick, or they went into the playoffs. The deeper into the playoffs, the higher the pick that the conditional pick went up in rounds. So if the Kings win it all, Tampa could, in theory, get what, maybe a second, even a low first round pick. I don't know. That's just what I'm going by. Ever since the last lockout and all these rule changes, and they've changed the playoff format, to be honest with you, I don't know all the ins and outs like I used to back in the day. So it seems to me that Tampa was just going, okay, we're not going to be able to keep Bishop. Fuck it. Let's get what we can for him. And they, depending on how deep LA goes, seems like they got a goalie that is expendable to them. Cernak, I don't even know who the fuck Eric Cernak is, to be honest with you. I have no idea. And looking at his stats, he's not even he's never even played the NHL. He's been over in Slovakia, and for the last 2 seasons he's played for the Erie Otters. So, I mean,
I'll pose a question to you as well, because hockey is famous for this. Maybe Quick's more injured than they're letting on.
That could be. And if that's the case, then LA probably should have to me, it's just the fact that they swap goalies like that tells me that they saw something in Budai that they didn't think was going to make him viable to go through the grind of the playoffs with.
Wasn't Bishop
maybe
the goalie?
Stevie Y saw something in Budai that he didn't see in Bishop.
I'm sorry. Say again, Earl. You broke up there.
Wasn't Bishop the goalie in Tampa Bay when they won the Cup?
When did they win the Cup? Was it
15 or 14? Or
if it was 15 or 14,
2004.
No, he wasn't. No, dude, he was still at the university. He was, I think, at the University of Maine still.
Wasn't Tampa Bay who broke up Chicago's championships?
I know they won
Chicago,
one since
Tampa Bay,
that
Chicago.
Hold on a sec here. Fact checking on the fly.
Yes.
I've been watching so much Joe Rogan. I love that he has a guy who runs his board and also does all his fact checking. He's like, anytime they get to something they don't know about, he's like, I'm not sure about that. Jamie, look that up for me. We need one of those guys.
Well, we generally do it on our shows. We just, as soon as we get something in dispute, one of us goes, hold on, and we look it up. So
it'd just be nice to have someone do it.
We all share that responsibility.
No, they've only won one Stanley Cup, and that was in 2004. Yeah. So now they've won.
Oh, that's right. They almost won the Cup. That's right.
In 2015. And in 2015, Bishop, at least through the regular season, I don't have, for whatever reason, they're not showing me his playoff stats, but he was definitely the number one goalie in the regular season of the 2014-2015 season. So, and, here we go. Come on, don't do this to me. Just, there we go. And, well, shit, come on. Really? You get these stats split up all fucked up. I don't know. Really? Just give me the fucking stats. Now I'm starting to get pissed off. I don't know. Sorry, Chris. This is going to be a major edit point. This is pissing me off, though. That site's got everything, but they don't split their stats between. They do it for the skaters, but they don't do it for the goalies. They don't split their stats for the regular season and playoffs. Playoffs in 2015, yes, he was their number one goalie. Played 25 games, had a .921 save percentage, and a 2.18 goals against average.
Hey, Rich.
Yeah.
Guess who Tampa Bay won the cup with in 2004 as goalie?
Javi Bulin, wasn't it?
Yep, Nikolai Javi Bulin.
The Bulin Wall, yeah. Yeah, that was the last Stanley Cup before they lost the next season completely. So that was like, I guess, the kickoff of the big trade. I mean, Patrick Eaves went from Dallas to Anaheim on the 24th, and Dallas got a conditional second round pick for 2017. But I mean, really, that's the big name to start it off. I mean, I guess you could say if you want, Yurko going to the Blackhawks from Detroit, but unless you're a Detroit hockey fan, most people are like, Yurko, he's still playing. Now the next interesting trade going to yesterday was Jordy Ben from the Dallas Stars to Greg Patron to the Stars from the Canadiens. And I meant to bring this up last week, but we bumped it, and it was kind of due to time, and also it wasn't time to bring it up. Patron is the guy who played for Montreal, whose wife went on social media and attacked their old coach, Michel Therrien, and their new coach for his lack of playing time, basically making accusations that they were more biased to French-Canadian players. Here's the quote. It says, his wife, Stephanie, made news recently after posting a derogatory tweet about Francophones, frustrated that her husband hadn't been used by former coach Therrien and was also a healthy scratch for Julian's first game behind the bench after he took over. Afterwards, it was reported that Canadiens general manager Marc Bergevin had let other GMs know Patron was available on the trade market. So this is a case, seems to me, of a player's wife basically talking his ass right out of a fucking job. I mean, granted, it doesn't seem like he was playing a whole lot. However, I just want to get you guys' feelings on it. It's not necessarily an NHL subject. It's just an interesting sub. Where do you guys land on players' wives and girlfriends and family members basically butting in and trying to influence decisions that are made for the careers of their husbands, boyfriends, brothers, whatever?
Well, we
replace
said that
the job
we,
with professional athlete with garbage man, with fucking retail manager, with mid-level executive. Would you go do that at your husband's job if it wasn't in the public eye? No. And why the fuck are you doing it now?
I'm not so sure, Chris. But in today's world, I'm just saying. But we said that with Ndamukong Suh and his sister. Shut the fuck up. You have no business talking about this shit in any way. It affects you not at all.
Well, when it comes to the wife, too, I mean, it's like, hey, you like eating? You like buying
real quick,
things?
Let me just make this point
You like how we live indoors?
I just want to
Don't
interject.
fuck with that.
It affects them in their standard of living because they're essentially, via the players, living the lifestyle that they've grown accustomed to. Let's just get that out of the way. That is the absolute, that is 100% fact. If you don't like it, then I don't know, take it up with someone else. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
I don't think Chris could hear us when he talks.
Oh, shit, I have my mute on. Fuck. No, it was just like, you like living inside, man? You like living indoors? Like, don't fuck with that shit. Like, it's, I don't know. It's, if you wouldn't do it with the regular job, don't do it when your job's in the public eye. That's pretty much where I'm at on it. Don't fuck with my livelihood, woman. As misogynistic as that sounds, I wouldn't do it to you. Don't do it to me.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
because-
go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, okay, Reggie Miller, Cheryl Miller. And the only reason I use them as examples is because they're the only brother-sister duo who were both professional athletes that pop in my head right off the top of my head. If Reggie Miller had done something like this about a contract dispute or playing time or Cheryl Miller's role on the team, how many people do you think would have stood up and said, okay, first of all, stop mansplaining your sister's career. What are you butting in for? She can handle it herself. I mean, am I wrong in thinking that when we flip that coin over, when a wife or a sister or a girlfriend does it with a male athlete, we're not supposed to criticize it. But if you flip that coin over, there would be a lot of criticism directed at any male who did that for his wife, girlfriend, sister, whatever.
I'm going to stick to professional athletes have agents for this reason. And I don't think the agents even go on social media to bitch about it. But they bitch about it behind closed doors to the managers and the owners. I don't think women, kids, family members have any right, nor should they ever involve themselves with the professional athlete's career.
Okay. So basically, we all pretty much agree, big faux pas on his wife's part by popping off about this. Okay.
Oh, I definitely agree with that.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, Tony, this month the house note's on you. Thanks. Good job.
well, another little interesting aside is involving the Dallas Stars is that one, they traded Ben, who was their team captain, to Montreal for Patron, and that fourth round pick. Now, another little interesting thing is that apparently Dallas was sitting on the fence whether to be buyers or sellers coming into the trade deadline. Obviously, they've went the seller route, but their GM, Jim Nill, is taking heat because apparently he could have gotten Ben Bishop, and he didn't pull the trigger for whatever reason. And so now he's taking heat, and he's on the hot seat. So, I mean, if you just look at it from this way, he's the GM of a team who could have went either way as buyers or sellers at the trade deadline, at least in some people's opinions, and he decided to sell. He got rid of his team captain, and he passed on a goalie who arguably could have made a difference for him. If you're us, are you really happy with those types of, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I just think that any GM has to answer to the owner, and the owner doesn't want to hear anything but we're just a few moves away from doing it. Granted, I know it was a film, but Moneyball. Think Moneyball. When Billy Beane went into the owner's office, the owner didn't want to hear that he didn't have enough money. He just wanted to hear, make the fucking moves to get us to be contenders. That's all he cared about. And for a GM to go from, well, I don't know if we're going to be buyers or sellers, to basically passing up on a chance to get a goalie who could have made a difference and a trade your team captain for a player whose wife is known to go to social media and bitch and complain.
Yeah,
seems like his seat
like there
should
needs
be
to
a
be
little
more than
hot
one
right
move
now.
made in that organization, and it needs to start at the top.
It seems like his seat should be a little bit hot. That's what I guess I'm getting at here.
Dude, if that happened in Detroit, holy shit. Sports talk radio would just be blowing up for the next fucking... till the season was over, pretty much.
Well, yeah, but speaking of Detroit, though, it looks like they're collecting draft picks for some reason.
Because they know that this is the season that streak comes to an end. And
Yeah.
my little mini ICEman moment is before the season even started, I said this was the season it comes to an end. Oh, I called it. Ooh. But it's just, I don't even take any pleasure in that because even the most casual of casual NHL fans could have saw that coming. They barely made it in last season. They've been first round or second round fodder ever since they went to the Cup Finals in 2009 and lost to the Penguins. And they really don't have a minor league system to speak of. So they need to start stockpiling draft picks. And with the NHL going the route of NBA and doing lottery picks, they can't tank a season and be guaranteed the first overall pick. So they're basically just treading water. And more so than not, they're water this season while they're trying to tread it. So they got rid of Brendan Smith for a third round pick in this year's draft and the second round pick in next year's. Send them over to the Rangers. So,
yeah, I think this is Ken Holland going, well, got as far as I could with that bunch. Now it's Ken Holland going, well, I got to start trying again.
Well, my concern is he's not the GM to do it in the salary cap era. And I've said this before. People go, well, it's easy to win when you have a blank check. No, it's not. Because there was a lot of teams in the NHL that had a blank check that don't have the record that the Red Wings did and didn't make the moves that Ken Holland did. But it's a completely different animal in the salary cap era. And where you have someone who can take a team and build them for the future versus someone who's constantly trading and used to having core pieces that are going to be there. Because you have to look at it this way. When it comes to the Red Wings, there were certain players you knew they were going to be there no matter what. It was going to be Lindstrom, ICEman, Shanahan. Basically, what I'm talking about is up to the lockout in the mid-2000s. All right. And those guys were just going to be there, period, unless they retired. So you could always build around them, and they did. From the 96-97 season on, they built around them. And they had their role players who were not going anywhere. The Chris Drapers, the Thomas Holmstroms, those guys, Maltby, those guys, you need those third, fourth line guys that are going to give you production season in, season out, that are going to produce in the playoffs and get hot when the time gets right for them, when the time is right for them to get hot. They don't have that now. Datsuk's gone. Zetterberg's not getting any younger. In fact, Zetterberg doesn't seem like he has the endurance as far as health to make it for the rest of his contract, which I believe he has 4 or 5 more years on. We're talking about a 35-year-old player right now. If not 35, getting ready to turn 35. That's a lot of money owed to a guy who might not even be playing in 2 seasons. So Detroit, hate to say it, Red Wings fans, I remember watching them on Channel 50 on broadcast television back in the day.
Ray Lane and Dave Strader.
Before I even knew all the hockey lore and history and all that, and they, besides the Tigers, they were my first sports team that I fell in love with. But I think we're right now, we just opened the door on a very, as far as Red Wings fans go, period, for the next at least couple years. You're not
no, come on, no more. We can't go back to the dead things, can we?
That's the bottom dropping out. So. I don't think it's going to get that bad.
No, I don't think so, not at all. Because unlike, unfortunately, Detroit Lions, and we've said this before, Detroit's a hockey town. It just is. It is a hockey destination. And yeah, they haven't made, a whole bunch of Stanley Cup wins, but they do have some, all the way back to the mid-90s, and they have made, Stanley Cup appearances. So it's not like you're going to a place that has no shot. It is a hockey destination. And with these draft picks and, the things that Ken Holland's done gives them a chance to make some great trades to get the talent back to Detroit. And, with that, people aren't going, no, not Detroit. We're not the Cleveland Browns of the NHL. So I don't think it'll ever be back to the Dead Wings. I think the way that they have done, the things they have done has paved the way for the future of that franchise.
I learned something the other day about the Red Wings. Well, I learned that, we all know that the salary cap exists in the NHL because of the 2002 Red Wings. And if you think it doesn't, you're a fucking idiot. Because we bought that cup. I'm a Detroiter. I love the team. I cheered when they won, but we bought that cup in 2002. But also, I guess when Mike Ilitch first bought the team, I think it was like 2 or 3 seasons in, he did something crazy, like he traded to get most of the top 10 picks in the first round. And then after that, there was a rule created that says, you can't do that anymore.
Well, you have to also remember that there was, they got ICEman. I think he was a top 3 pick.
They traded for six of the top 10 picks.
People don't realize that if it wasn't for that Edmonton team in, I want to say 87, 88, that the Wings could have at least made the Cup Finals. but they were going up against a team that was just historic in fucking how stacked they were. I mean, it almost rivals the 2002 Red Wings team, but that was a team that was assembled for the most part, besides those core players that I talked about. This was a team that was just built the old-fashioned way, through the Oilers sucking for so long. They had Gretzky, they had Messier, they had Jari Kurri, they had Grant Fuhr. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But I mean, the Red Wings, they drafted in the 80s, people forget they drafted ICEman, they drafted Adam Oates. They got Sergei Fedorov out of Russia and brought him here. Lindstrom came along not that long after. He took a lot of heat when he was here.
Kostinov, Larionov.
Fetisov, Larionov came from he was an older player from the Russians versus the U.S. days, but I mean, he obviously still had a lot of hockey in him. No, I didn't see anyone else beating down his door. New Jersey let him go, and then they picked him up.
The professor.
I mean, it's just, that team was built like it was, and it wasn't just a slap together, we're going to go out and try to get the best free agents. It was built, in my opinion, the right way. Free agents are the extra gravy on your mashed potatoes, but your mashed potatoes, you got to go out and you got to use the draft to do it. When has been the last big player the Red Wings people are excited to see come up through the draft? Dylan Larkin? That's about
been a
it.
Bust this year. I recently read a story how they've been cutting back his ice time dramatically.
Just got traded, was supposed to be, the complement to a Cronwall on the blue line, and he just hasn't been that. He just hasn't. In 2014, he played 71 games. He played 76 in 2015, 63 in last season, and he's played 33 this season so far. And his numbers aren't that great. It's just all there is to it. His best season's, a 19-point season in 2013, 2014. So I see the Red Wings, the bottom third of the league, and hopefully in a couple of years they'll be up in the middle of the pack. But I really think it's going to take cutting ties with Ken Holland, definitely cutting ties with Jeff Blashill, who's in way over his head, and basically rebuilding now that Mr. Ilitch is gone, rebuilding that team. And that's going to be rough because anybody who's from Detroit, anybody who follows hockey knows that Detroit it's been a staple. There are people in their mid-20s who don't remember, people in their early 30s who don't remember a time when Red Wings were not in the playoffs. Think about that. Insanity, dude. In today's sports world, that's just insane.
Right. Yeah, this is a record that won't be broken for a long time. Well, obviously, it's going to take 26 years to break it.
What were you saying?
So why would you want to move away from Ken Holland?
I don't think he could do it in the salary cap era, man. Made any great trades, and he hasn't made any great decisions that weren't built, okay, he hasn't won anything with the Red Wings that the core wasn't a holdover to the pre-salary cap era. Since their last two trips to the Stanley Cup Finals, they haven't gotten out of the second round. He's made some very questionable choices in the salary cap era, such as letting Hossa go, which was a huge mistake in hindsight because the Mule just disappeared. His career done and over with. And Hossa, they've won, 2 cups in Chicago since then with him on the team? Granted, they have Taves and Kane, but it's still. Hossa he's played his part, and it would have been nice to have that part here in Detroit, and we could have. Look at the goalie mess. It's going to be Howard. No, it's going to be Mrazek. Now it's going to be this new kid coming up. Howard's 34. Gave Howard a contract like he, Belfour in his fucking prime back in, a few years ago. He was never worth that contract. But they had nothing else to hang their hat on. They couldn't trade for any more goalies because, it's the salary cap era. They couldn't afford any top fucking tier goalies. So they paid Howard like he was one and hoped he would grow into the contract. He hasn't. Mrazek's been spotty as fuck. And this new guy, I can't even remember his name off the top of my head, but he obviously hasn't been a fucking world beater or else I'd know his name right off the top of my head.
And I think you can argue, too, that success in the NHL is tied to your goaltender. Look at when Detroit won the Cups. You could argue that it was years where they had invested in their goalies. And so they had put most of their money in the goalie.
Defensemen.
Which is tied to the goalie.
Detroit won because of their defensemen.
It just seems if you don't have a top-tier goalie, look at all the years. Look at the early and mid-'90s with the Red Wings. With the Red Wings. It wasn't until they started investing in between the pipes is when we started getting to that next level.
They won 4 cups, 1 with Vernon, 2 with Osgood, 1 with Hasek. Colorado, for their I hate to call it this because it's the Colorado anal munch and fuck them forever and ever, amen, but they did have a little half-assed dynasty there. Waugh was there to back them for every cup win. Same thing with Brodeur in New Jersey. So, I have to agree with Earl. That defensive core in front of those fucking goalies won those goalies cups because those goalies didn't win any cups, not with any other team without that defensive core in front of them. Hasek came close. He came damn close with Buffalo. Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. Bottom line. He still didn't get a ring that year.
Right, and Chelios came damn close with Belfour, who I hold above all. But, it wasn't until he went to the Red Wings that he got it.
Talking about Chelios, obviously.
Yeah.
So it's a mess, and I like I said, I don't see it getting any better for the Red Wings. I'm a little more upset that the Red Wings haven't had more of a fire sale than they have at this point. I'm of the opinion, blow it all up and build it from scratch. That's me. It's just you got to do that these days.
You know what though? I'm starting to wonder if the what's the word here? Stagnantness, probably not a word, in both of the Red Wings and Tigers organizations this year has been tied to maybe the health of Mr. Ilitch. Because it seems like both organizations this last year just been super quiet as far as making any moves or shaking things up as far as they haven't done anything they haven't had to do. Let's put it that way.
But you got to remember, going into the offseason after last year's baseball season, Alex Avila, their GM, Tigers GM, said he was going to have a fire sale, and he didn't. Basically, we're almost fielding the exact same team minus Cameron Maben.
Yep.
So, there's that. Red Wings, they haven't been able to do anything like get that, that rent-a-player that they used to get before the playoffs every year for a while now. A while. And definitely they haven't gotten their blue line presence at the trade deadline. They just gave up one of their top 4 defensemen, arguably, at the trade deadline. That's the exact opposite of what the Red Wings were known for. Every fucking year when the trade deadline was coming up, all you heard in Detroit is we need a big, hard-hitting, mean defenseman. Get us Darian Hatcher. Get us a Pronger-like player. When has that happened in the last almost decade now, guys? It's been 9 years since they last won a cup. If it had been 9 years and they had not won those 3 cups, the 2 in the 90s and 1 in the early 2000s, I think the fans would be a lot more likely to start a fire under Holland's seat than they are. I'm just saying, as a fan, time has passed Holland by. The game has changed from the front office to the ice, whether you like it or not. And believe me, I love to bitch and moan and talk about the good old days, but they're gone, man. And crying about the good old days don't get you wins today. So, hey, and as always when I say things like this, I hope I'm wrong. I really do. Because if I'm wrong, this is just a 1-year hiccup. They go to their new fucking shed. They have an outstanding season. They make it. Maybe in the land of Oz, they even win it. Who knows? I'll be happy. Believe me, I'll be the one taking off work so I can party hard that night. Okay? First one to call in. I'm sick. Bullshit. They're going to win the Stanley Cup. I'm really sick. I didn't even know there was a game on. Sorry. Click. But, yeah, I don't see it happening anytime soon, guys. I just don't. So that's all I have for hockey. Do we want to touch on baseball before we move to anything else?
Hey, what about bringing Stevie Y back?
Dude,
he's doing good at his job.
Let's just put it this way, man. I hear that every time I go to any type of fucking article that even remotely mentions Tampa Bay based out of Detroit. You hear it from every Detroit, eventually one person starts the chant, and then next thing you know, it's got 150 likes, 300 comments, and most people are on board with wanting to bring him back. The problem is I don't know if he wants to leave. I've had people argue with me that they say he still has his off-season home here. His family was raised here. This is his home. Detroit is his home now. And I go, okay, well, he has to know better than anyone that Holland's on the hot seat. And I'm pretty sure if that job was open, we'd have heard something through some sources, because these days you can't keep anything quiet. Rumblings and rumors of him taking over for Holland at the end of this season. Because if there's going to be a season where Holland loses his job, it's going to be the first season they don't make the playoffs in, a quarter of a century. So I don't think he's coming here. Chris might have some insight. I don't, but I just don't.
Yeah. I got the bat phone.
No. What I'm saying is maybe you've read an article I haven't or something about it. I don't know.
Oh, no, I just think he's been there for a while. He's got his people in place. He's doing well. The team's doing well. Why would he leave? Unless Detroit is going to hang some crazy bag of money in front of him, which is probably not a concern to him at this point because he played in the NHL for 2 fucking decades, and he's been in the front office for like the last decade. But it would have to sincerely be for love of hometown because,
that's what I was thinking.
Besides the fact that he's doing good at his job, why would you leave a good situation to go to a shitty situation? Because he'd arguably be coming to a team that's in worse shape than where he's at now.
And just to throw this out there, this is horrible, but it's the truth. It's really a very slim margin of a win situation for him and a whole lot of fucking lose. Because unless he comes here and turns it around quick and they start ups, he can't even just be good. He's got to be great at this job, or else they will run him out of town. And if you think I'm bullshitting, look back.
Alan Trammell.
Yep.
That's my argument to you. Alan Trammell.
Just going to say that.
Alan Trammell was going to be the fucking mayor of Detroit until he was the coach of the Tigers. After that, you haven't seen Alan Trammell near any Tigers events since he was the coach. Just putting that out there.
Now, in a perfect world, I'd love it. It'd be great if he'd come back and he would do great. I think he is the type of GM that does well in the salary cap era. He's already proven when he put together the Canadian national team that he knows talent. I mean, he's put together teams that have won Gold Cups. He's put together teams that have went to the Cup Finals. He was groomed at the heel of arguably, one of the, because historically, no matter how much I'm down on Ken Holland right now, he has to go down as one of the best GMs in the history of hockey. I mean, granted, he wasn't there from the beginning of the streak, but he kept his streak afloat for the lion's share of it. That's nothing to sneeze at. And it's not that I have bad feelings toward Ken Holland. I'm not like, fuck Ken Holland, he's got to go. I'm just looking at him going like, it's like when your grandfather, comes over to visit, and every time he does, you notice a new dent in his car, and you ask him what happens, and he says nothing. Eventually, you have to sit down and go, Grandpa, we love you, but you got to give us the car keys, and it's time to hand over your license.
Or another analogy, he's the 50-year-old guy in the club. Time to go, buddy. All right, there's other ways for you to meet women. Okay, you can't be sitting here staring at 21-year-olds' asses with your gray hair and your crow's feet. No, man, you're bumming everybody out. It's time for you to go.
Yeah, fuck you. I still ain't leaving.
Did we strike a nerve there?
You want to arm wrestle? Shut up.
Well, it's different if you work there. We're talking about the guy who still comes every Friday. Oh, I'm a holler at bitches. Dude, you're 52.
He asks a bitch to dance, and he goes out there and does the shuffle. Starts doing the bump and shit. Do the hustle. Hey, you got Word Up by Cameo? That's my jam.
I'd love to stay and dance and everything, but I need my oxygen. Hold on a minute.
Yeah.
No, don't bump me so hard, baby. Don't grind me so hard. You're busting the bag on my hip. Oh, shit.
I got to get away from the speaker. It's fucking with my pacemaker.
So do we have anything on baseball, or we just is that
the only thing I have on baseball?
Glorious.
The only thing I have on that is it's spring training. What the fuck with all the injuries? It's training.
Hey, man, that's why I wait till the day before the season kicks off to draft my team. All right? I am drafting my team on April 1st. All right? But it's what happens, though, too. It's just where the men are separated from the boys. Those who worked out all season, all in the off season, are reaping their rewards. Those who didn't, hey, guess who's going to miss the first few weeks of the season if you make the team?
I'm just saying, man, that's fucking retarded. You got people dying on the off season. They come back for spring training. They're injuring themselves. I'm like, it's just spring training. Calm down.
But conditioning, man. If you're injuring yourself, isn't it a fault of conditioning? You did not do your due diligence in the off season.
Well, no, you just give your body a chance to at least warm up. Don't come out rocking firing at the very start. Of course you're going to injure yourself, retard. I mean, that's just the case of wanting a longer summer vacation, ain't it?
I was going to say, the cynic in me says that
there's no reason to come out of the gate with the pedal on the floor. You know, it's fucking February still. I could see some validity to what you're saying.
Yeah, the cynic in me has to wonder how many of these guys are like, look, man, I know my spot on the team is safe, and it's a fucking long-ass season as is. I don't need to be out here doing this shit. Hey, coach, my arm's a little sore, you know. My hamstring's stiff. I mean, Jesus Christ, Michael Strahan is the most famous case of it I can think of in recent years. He paid $250,000 in fines to skip out on training camp and went on to win the Super Bowl that season.
Well, it's funny. I was also going to bring up the NFL as well. It's all the crazy, mysterious injuries that crop up in Week 17. You know, maybe kind of the same kind of deal.
All right. Well, speaking of football, because we never seem to veer very far from it.
It's because it's awesome.
Couple interesting stories out of college football. Have you guys heard about this My King Johnson? My King being his first name.
I mean, props to his parents for the name. That's the first thing I thought. Like, Dad named you. Great job, Dad. You got about middle school. How can you make fun of this name? My King Johnson.
Oh, God. Okay, name aside, because I feel like I could go on a Carlin-esque rant about the names of a lot of these players these days. Watch a Key and Peele skit about the college football players' names. That's all I'm going to say. That's about
several of them, and they're hilarious.
Yeah, it's like how we say that we feel like we're living an Onion article from 10 years ago right now when we talk about politics. I feel like we're living a Key and Peele skit when we talk about some of these guys that are signing. Anyways, besides the interesting name, first openly gay football player on a scholarship, and he's going to the Arizona Wildcats. Obviously not the first openly gay football in...
I was going to ask, did Michael Sam come out in college? Like,
yeah, he came out
to college and then go ham gay, so this is the first person that they're knowingly drafting that they know is gay?
The Missouri guy?
Michael Sam? Yeah, Michael Sam came out, after his senior year, but before the draft?
Yeah, it came out right before the draft.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was a little bit different. This is a guy coming out of high school saying he's gay. Now, I'm very okay, which is interesting to me, and I want to pick your brain for a second on this topic, Earl. Never played high school football. I believe Chris never played high school football.
God, no.
Granted, you were talking about when you did it, it was the 90s versus now. But try to put yourself in the mindset of players these days in high school. Do you think it makes that much of a difference that he's gay?
In today's, no. Back then, yes.
Well, that's what I said. I said you have to try to put yourself in the mindset of players these days.
No, it doesn't make any difference that he's gay. None.
I mean, because
there will always be, and this is true, you know, racism and all of this shit. There will always be that one or two people that are just like, oh, you fucking faggot. But as a grand total, is in the whole scheme of things, no, it won't make a bit of difference that he's gay. If he does the job, he does the job. If he doesn't, then he doesn't. To give a damn who he's with when he's not doing it. In the
showers?
No, Men don't look at men in the shower, bro. I don't know about you guys, but we didn't.
Not straight men. That's my point. You don't think there's any?
Well, now calm down, Chris, because now you're doing a thing here. You're thinking that gay men just look at every man in the shower and like, ooh, I want some of that.
No,
that's not true.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying you have someone who is attracted. It's like a girl showering in there. It's the way I'm looking. I'm not looking at it like gay dudes are constantly sizing everybody up. I'm looking at it as someone of the sex you are attracted to is showering with you.
Okay, well, hold on a sec. Let me ask this question. Let me ask this question. Try to put it in a little bit of perspective. On a high school football team that this type of player would come from, I'm assuming probably about one of the better high school football teams in his area. How many players would you say are on that team?
20?
20? They're playing Ironman football?
Oh, yeah, that's true. Well, yeah.
That's not even fucking Ironman football. That's like...
Hey, the team I coached had 20. We had a lot of players going both ways, and I'm not talking about... Never mind. Anyways,
I know what you're saying. How many players you had in your high school football team? How many players did you have?
I had at least 30.
30, okay. All right, see, I was thinking more of along the lines of like somewhere between 40 and 55 for a top-tier high school team. In other words, a team who knows that year in, year out, they're competing. A Friday Night Lights team. Teams that are going to be competing for state championships. They're going to have as many players as they can who are going to bring as much as they can to the team. They're not going to want to fucking have their offensive star out there playing defense just because they don't have the people to fill the holes. Especially if he can't play defense as well as he play offense or vice versa. That was my guess. Okay. But let's cut the difference. Let's just say 30 people. Okay. So minus him, there's 29 guys in that shower, in that locker room. There's him. The odds that he's going to find all of them repulsive, I'm going to say, are pretty slim. Because these are guys who, in theory, are at least in good shape.
I was going to say, too, if you go by the statistics, there's 2 more other gay dudes in that locker room, too. They're just not saying anything yet.
Now, my thing is, we all, as young men, okay, from whatever age we stopped playing with toys and realized, oh, shit, these weird creatures that we've been forced to cohabitate with grades 1 through whatever, all of a sudden we want to stick our dick in them, but we really don't even know why. Okay, before we had our awakenings, all right? Once we had it, I didn't want to fuck every girl in school. But if you put 29 girls in a room with me, I guarantee you there'd be at least 1 or 2 I'm crushing on. That's what I'm getting at. Now, me personally, having spent a lot of my school years in Florida, for whatever reason, the area of Florida I was in, it wasn't unusual to have openly gay kids in high school. It just wasn't. And there was one, and yes, I have been hit on. And it made me uncomfortable, but it didn't make me want to get violent with the guy. It just put me in a position that I'm never in because traditionally, as men, we are the pursuers of females. And it's the same way anytime a female's come up and laid it on heavy on me, I'm like, well, I'm not used to this. What do you mean I get to make the decision here? I'm usually the one begging, you know? So that's just where I'm coming from on this. To me, it wouldn't make a difference. If I'm on a winning team and one of my teammates is openly gay, I don't care if he was like, ooh, Rich, you big bear looking motherfucker, you. Yeah, I'm going to run them cheeks. As long as he didn't come over and do anything about it, that's fine. Because to me, that's just shit talking. Because if I was a gay dude and I was openly gay and my teammates accepted it, I'd find the one dude who accepts it but he's uncomfortable with it, and I'd see how much more uncomfortable I can make him. Because that's part of being a guy, is busting balls and busting, fucking with each other.
That leads me to a question I had, too. It's been a theme of this podcast, I guess, too. Where is the line? Like, if there's going to be shit talking one way, can there be shit talking the other? Can there be guys, we're back to busting balls here. Can there be a guy that's be like, yeah, look at that shit. You love that shit. Can there be ball busting the other way? Or do we now get into, now we're persecuting the gay person?
If he was my friend, he better get used to it the other way.
If I offended anybody in this shower, I am sorry.
One of my managers I worked with at one of my last jobs was gay. I mean, open. There was no secret about it. And every once in a while, some customer would come in, and I'd notice at the corner of my eye him looking at that customer differently than he looked at 99.9% of the rest of the customers that walked in. and it meant the customer left, I'd be like, you wanted a piece of that, didn't you? And most of the time he'd be like, you damn right. I'm like,
he's like, no, I want the whole damn thing. I didn't want this piece. I'm a grown man.
And I mean, case in point, to hit a little bit closer to home, when my little brother was up here visiting me, he's my little brother, but he's well into his 20s. He came in to work with me because I had to stop by and pick something up. And my buddy saw him from work and, introduced himself and everything. And to his credit, played it cool. And the next time I come into work, he's like, yo, your little brother, if he ain't gay and he ever decides he is, send him my way. I was like, damn.
Hell.
So I kept telling my little brother, I'm like, hey, if it doesn't work out with the females, I got a guy up here, man. He's willing to break you in and indoctrinate you to the lifestyle.
Hey, I got a gay guy that wants to fuck you, just to let you know.
No, but to answer your question, Rich, no, it's not going to matter that he's gay. He can make it an issue. If he starts looking at men in the shower and, making the moves, then it'll be an issue. But in today's society, it's very well accepted to be gay, openly gay, whatever, lesbian. That's like not so much for sports, but with the military. You can be openly gay in the military now, and nobody cares as long as when you have to pull that trigger, you fucking pull that trigger. And it's the same way in sports. It's the same way he's going to be treated on the field. As long as you make the play when you have to make the play, I don't give a fuck who you fuck. Seriously.
Well, I mean, because that's basically what I was wondering. Because to me, it just don't care, gay, straight, whatever the fuck kind of sexuality that you found on the internet. That you found on the internet and you now are because you read something about it. I don't give a shit about none of that. What I give a shit about is, can you do your job that you're out here to do? And if the answer is yes, and as far as I'm concerned, let's go. If you're willing to walk into battle with me, then let's do it. Because I've known plenty of people who talk some big shit, and when it comes down to it, they ain't getting out of the car. They ain't stepping up and doing anything.
I think back in the day, if you were openly gay, you'd probably take a shower by yourself, or mostly by yourself.
Or get your ass whooped. I mean, let's not forget that.
But let's be honest here, guys. This is what I was getting at with the comparing how many teammates he has. We all had to learn either because we were taught or because we watched and learned by example from other males. When you see a woman who's attractive, you don't act a fucking fool. Ideally, you don't act a fool. Okay? You look at her, and it's a good looking woman, but you don't sit there and stare at her like the creep. You know what I'm saying? Watching girls try on shoes at the food mart. Just sitting there and drinking his coffee, just staring. You don't do that. And that knows no boundaries as far as sexual orientation. If you're a pig and you're gay, you'd have been a pig if you were straight. You're just a pig. We all know pig guys. Guys who are creeps.
The variable I'll throw in this situation, though, Rich, is let's toss you in a room with 29 other naked girls at 15 or 16 and see how that goes.
That's what I was getting at.
I like playing devil's advocate.
Look, if as picky as I am, I'm going to find 2 or 3 that I find attractive. The unfortunate part is
you can't deny your eye's going to find a nipple. Your eye, you may look at a titty or a vagina or two while that's going on.
Well, look, I never played high school sports, but taking gym and shit like that, I've had to shower with other guys. You may not be checking out other guys, but you are aware that motherfuckers are naked. And then there's the weird guys who are very comfortable being naked in the locker room.
Yeah, they turn into the naked asshole at the gym. Yeah, we all know that guy.
Like you
I think
with his nuts hanging out.
They're like, I air dry. I don't know. Get the towel away from me. Like, dude, seriously?
And I think the first time you take a shower with a bunch of guys, you fully adopt the thing Rich said. We are all not created equal.
Yeah. And at least for me, and you also just have this running thought in your head, please don't get a boner, please don't get a boner, please don't get a boner. Because we had that one guy who got a boner. Wasn't me. Thank fucking God. But that's all they talked about for the rest of the fucking year.
Well, I mean, even in gym class, you got the guy who, you always got the one guy who's just strange. I'm not saying like gay. I'm just saying he's just strange. And it's like when you're a little kid and you go to the bathroom and he's the kid at the little kid urinal with his pants around his ankles taking a piss, and you're like, what the fuck are you doing, Butters? Pull your pants up. You know, you got the guy who maybe like cleans himself a little too aggressively, and you're like, do you need a moment over there? You want some alone time? You know, like
close the curtain for fuck's sake.
Yeah, exactly. Face the wall when you do that shit, man. There's an accidental discharge. I don't want to be caught in that crossfire.
What do we say when I was a kid? More than 2 shakes, you're playing with it?
Yeah. Or as Gunny Dispro used to say, anything more than 2 shakes is pleasure, ladies, and we're not in that business. Hurry it up. Aye, Gunny. So now that we've cleared out the question that was in my mind, obviously, Earl, I'm going to make an assumption here. If I'm wrong, feel free to correct me. If you don't think he had that much of a hard time in high school these days being openly gay, then you probably think he's not going to have that much of a hard time in college. Or will he have more of a hard time because of the size of the team and they're pulling from all over the country?
I think
colleges are the home of safe spaces now, man.
Yeah, I think he would have a less hard time in colleges, and not just safe spaces, but look at Baylor and all of the sexual assaults that are going on there, and how it's massively broadcast throughout, the world media. But not just that, Baylor in and of itself is trying to avoid sanctions that would stop them from competing. Okay, in high school, if you get bullied or whatever, you just have anti-bullying campaigns and people coming and shaking fingers. In college, if you get caught doing that shit, your program gets crushed. So any problems that he would or could face being a gay player is going to be squashed immediately, because the program in and of itself will protect the program. Fuck him. They will protect that program.
I think Penn State demonstrated that more than anything.
Well, I mean, Baylor is right up there with Penn State. It really is. With the way that it's handled all the sexual assaults that have happened on women and the way they've dismissed their victims. And, there's a lot of them. Guys, you really need to check up and see how many times women have been victimized on the campus. It's terrible.
No,
I hate being the guy who says that, but it's a college campus. What is exactly considered assault on the Baylor campus?
Well, here's the thing. They have expanded the definition of sexual assault.
That's what I'm saying.
From what us growing up, at least, I guess I'll throw that out there. If I'm wrong, once again, correct me. What we would think of as rape or sexual assault, to this guy asked me out, I said no, and he kept trying to convince me to go out with him. He sexually assaulted me.
Yeah, exactly. I'm saying, now, if at some campuses, if you go to give somebody a hug and they don't want it, you could say they sexually assaulted you. Now, I'm not trying to minimize real sexual assaults here. I'm just saying Baylor seems to have this disproportionate amount of sexual assaults. Well, what is considered a sexual assault on the Baylor campus? I guess is my question.
And I don't want to get into debating that. I will say this. From what I've looked into it, I've read a lot of opinions. Part of me is shocked and part of me is so cynical anymore that I was like, you should have known this before you even opened the articles and saw these talking heads give these opinions or watched this talking head give this an opinion. There are people calling for Baylor to get their football program to get the death penalty, like they did SMU back in the day. If they didn't give it to Penn State for a guy fucking children for decades in the fucking at the in the training room, in the showers of that program, but because of sexual assault they get the fucking death penalty, there's something very wrong with how we decide who's a victim and how that perpetrator who victimized these people should be punished.
Oh, there's going to be. I bet you Baylor will get more severe punishment than Penn State. You know why? because a whole bunch of children didn't just get together and march a month ago. Children's rights haven't been a hot button issue in the country recently, if you want to read between the political lines there. I bet you we're in the day and age of apologizing for no reason. I'm willing to bet in a situation like this, since it's against women, I'm willing to bet we'll see something. We'll see an overcompensation, I guess, from the NCAA. That's my prediction.
Right, and that just, my point was with the Baylor incident is just that, like you said, they probably will get a severe penalty, but that type of shit is why a openly gay player would have an easier time in college than they would in high school. Because it's not just somebody coming in and waving a finger going, stop bullying. No. They will crush the program. And nobody's going to let that happen. Not for an openly gay player. No fucking way.
I can't not agree with you there, Earl. You put things on a college campus now, all bets are off as far as political correctness, things of that nature.
College campuses have become their own. I don't want to say. I'm trying to think of the proper word. Okay, there is life outside of college. There's corporate life. There's life for blue collar workers. There's life in the military. College has become its own thing, like military life is, or used to be. I don't know. I haven't dealt with the military in 20 plus years. And they are the least tolerant of any of the things I just described. And I can't see any school willing to basically try to be the one that bucks that trend. So I think, if Johnson goes into the Wildcats locker room and there's some fucking hillbilly or some ghetto guy and they're like, fucking faggot, I think they're going to nip that shit in the bud quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Well, he's going to where? Missouri, right?
No.
Is
he going to Arizona?
Have I been saying it wrong?
Yeah. University of Arizona.
Oh. Well,
went to Tempe High School.
There's a chance that could happen. Arizona's becoming has a West reputation. Its reputation is the West version of Florida. So we are talking about the last state that did hold out on Martin Luther King Day. There's a chance he could run into it, but we'll see.
Well, I guess I don't know how big of a story it is nationally. It's made a couple waves here locally because of the school involved, is a player at MSU who, Chris, do you know the details enough to speak on it?
I know he was a white football player. His girlfriend cheated on him with a black football player. He sent her a text message which used the N-word, and then she put him on blast on social media. And he released a statement the other day saying that, him and Coach D'Antonio have come to the decision that he is going to transfer for his last year of NCAA eligibility.
Okay, so he was calling
that's the Cliff Notes version right there.
He was calling his fellow football player the N-word.
Yes.
Okay.
No, he was calling the guy that fucked his girlfriend the N-word.
Well, hold on a second. I thought he called the girl the N-word. So
no, he called the guy who fucked his old lady. That's what he called her or him.
Okay. What were your thoughts when you heard that story? Because I have some very, very clear thoughts on it. But I'll let you go first.
I mean, things are said in the heat of anger. I think you have to look at intent. Does this guy have a track record of doing this? If so, then sure. But if this is an isolated incident, I think he's obviously angry. Someone fucked his girl, and he went for the easiest route of path of least resistance. He went for the easiest thing to pick on, I guess. Do I think he should have had to quit the team over it? No, especially since the guy who he called the word isn't on the team anymore.
Is he not on the team due to this
incident? It's a gray area, man.
Chris, do you know if he's not on the team due to this incident?
The other guy, I just think he's done with his eligibility.
Okay. What about you, Earl?
It's not going to matter where that kid plays. And once again, we're talking about today's society. You get put on blast for calling somebody the N-word. There's going to be black people anywhere you go. And you know what? I'm with Chris also. So he used the fucking word. I mean, there's been a lot
sit
of
out
talk.
A game next season. Maybe you're suspended a couple games.
It's more of a cohesive team mentality type thing, I believe in. It's not so much that, hey, you said the word nigger and we can't have that, so you got to go. I think it's more a comfortability team, cohesiveness. And he's not going to have it at Michigan State because he used the N-word. And and that's just my point, is anywhere he's going to go is going to have black people, and they're all going to know he said it, and number one. So that doesn't matter. Number two, no teammate, quote unquote, of mine would ever fuck my woman. Now, an N-word would do it in a heartbeat.
My question is, though, too, I'm not trying to minimize or condone that he used the word, but are we not allowed to get angry anymore? Is in the age where everybody's the same? Are we just even temper the whole time? No emotion anymore? You can't show emotion? You can't get angry about anything? I'd say on the list of things to get angry about for most people, this is near the fucking top, man or woman.
No, you could get angry, Chris. You just can't use a racial slur.
I think, and I know I'm not the only one to think this, because I've heard it on at least one other podcast, and I've read it in a few articles about this subject. Excuse me. If he'd have actually walked in, I don't know the circumstances, under the circumstances which he found out, but let's say he caught him in the act. If he'd have just beat the guy's ass, he'd still be on the team.
Yeah.
And this probably wouldn't even have hit the newspapers.
And I dare to say he'd probably get the same podcast, he'd probably get a fairer shake if he fucking killed the guy. Because if he filed under crime of passion, he'd probably have a better time with that route than the route that he went.
I mean, I think that was the gentleman who said that on their podcast. I mean, I think definitely there was some, hyperbole behind that. Crimes of passion are not what they were 40, 50 years ago. Really.
I'm just saying in the court of public opinion, he'd still do some jail time.
I got you.
I guess is my point.
I totally agree. Is that killing a man is worse. Killing a man is not worse than using the N-word.
Exactly. That is my point. We've gotten to the point in society where if he'd have beat the shit out of the guy, that's more acceptable than calling him a nigger in the heat of the moment. And to me, when words somehow are given more weight than actions, we're treading a very dangerous path.
Yeah, I've always been a proponent of words have the power you assign to them. Now, the thing that's always thrown into my face is, well, you're a straight white male. It's an easy thing to say, but whatever. I still believe it. Now, it doesn't give you license to go walking around calling everybody you see the N-word. Now we get into the conversation of consequences for your actions. But yeah, to me, words have the power you assign to them, and I'm with you, Rich. If words are starting to pull more weight than actions, I hope I die soon.
Just the fact that when we talk about this, and this is, okay, look, when we talk about this story, the fact that we use the N-word, and the fact that you have grown people doing reports on this story, talking like they're little children who go, ooh, I'm mad as HE double hockey sticks. Okay, that we can't have a adult conversation and use a direct quote because, well, I mean, we have obviously, but what I'm saying is we feel as a society that we have to, we can't say that word. Okay, look, no one's calling anybody that. We're quoting a story, all right, and this is how ridiculous we've gotten in society. And you can't, I don't give a fuck what anyone tells me until I have, overwhelming evidence. You mic up every player on a fucking college, on a professional football field for an entire season, and you tell me that that word is not used in every context possible during the game, whether it be negative, whether it be a term of endearment, whether it be a hello, a goodbye. It's like how I use the word fuck. I can use the word fuck as an adjective, an adverb, a noun, a pronoun. I can use it all over the place. Okay? That word, every time I've played sports, when you had black guys and white guys, was constantly thrown around. Granted, if a white guy threw it around, you knew he was tight with that black guy. If a white guy threw it around and a fight broke out, you knew he wasn't tight with that black guy. Bottom line. Ding. Okay, that's all there is to it. And I'm going to be honest with you. In the heat of the moment, I catch you fucking my girlfriend, I'm going to call you anything I can fucking find. If you're an Iraq war vet and you had your leg blown off, you peg leg motherfucker. You got a glass eye, you patch-eyed son of a bitch. I'm going to call you anything I can think of. Because that's how angry I am at that point in time. Now, does that mean that's how I feel about every amputee or every person who's lost an eye? No. But once again, this goes back to something we've talked about hundreds of times at least. Context is lost and nuance has been lost to certain segments of our society. And for some reason, we give these people validity by holding up their opinions above everybody else who goes, wait a minute, everybody calm the fuck down. What was the circumstances this happened under?
Yeah,
think
you
about
tell me
it.
You're going to keep your shit if that happens to you.
Because if the situation was reversed and he called and he found one of his white, and he was black, and he found a white teammate banging his girlfriend, and he called him every fucking racial slur for a white person he could think of, I wouldn't even be mad. I'd be like, shh, you're lucky he didn't beat your ass. Yeah. You're lucky you didn't get your ass beat. But because the situation's reversed, I haven't even heard anyone say that. I have not heard anyone say the guy who fucked his teammate's girlfriend's lucky he didn't get his ass whooped. And I can say this. I know I never played high school sports, but I have been part of organizations where you're considered brothers in brotherhood. And shit like that does not fly. And if this guy would have went back to certain organizations and said, I just caught one of our brothers fucking my girlfriend, he'd have had a volunteer army behind him to go fuck the guy up.
Yeah, well, that's what I said, dude. No teammate of mine has ever fucked my woman.
Yeah, I got it.
Now, a nigger might, or some poor white trash might.
Yeah, we got it south of the Mason-Dixon line. Okay, we got it the first time you said it. I'm glad you had to hammer it in there.
Just call them all assholes.
The verbal date rapist finally got the tip in. Congratulations. Had to happen sooner or later.
Your teammate is just an asshole, regardless of color.
But it just, once again, if you're listening, think about this. He beats the guy's ass. It's not as bad as calling him a word. Take all of the bullshit passions and emotions that word might invoke in you upon hearing it or hearing it used at you, and stop and think, once you're done with that, clear-headedly about the situation, and tell me we're heading down the right path. Because if you can do that, you're more of a deluded man than I am. All right, so fuck MSU players fucking each other's girlfriends. Let's get to the real shit. We went real long, but we got to cover it. Fucking, what the fuck is going on in the NFL? Last thing I heard, the big move I heard is Revis got cut. That was literally an hour before we went on air.
Well, he's still dealing with all of that. Well, besides just not being Revis Island anymore, isn't he dealing with all that criminal shit of him getting in that fight or something in Pittsburgh?
Okay, well, if he is, that adds to it.
Well, I mean, that's just it. When you're in Revis's situation, I mean, a guy who's on the downside of his career, something like that, you just became more on the liability side instead of the asset side.
Well,
yeah, he's old. I mean, the legal discourse, and I mean, like I said before, that this year coming up, I mean, it's getting to where, you know, we talk about, you know, the NBA and Michael Jordan and hockey and ICEman. The same thing's happening in the NFL. Everybody's old. All of our childhood heroes are gone or leaving or at the end of their career. So, I mean, teams are going to be shaken up, and the only reason that I think that one team is going to stand firm is because of their coach, and that's the Pats.
Okay, well, we're not going down that road because I don't want to be here for another 2 hours. Let's talk about what's actually happened. You can trust me, Earl. That big ass wide mouth of yours does not need Pat cock in it tonight. Okay, you 1 week without fucking slurping down some fucking jism, you'll be good. Okay. Anyways, next big story: Adrian Peterson, not signed, did not get signed, and was he basically let go, cut? Am I correct?
Yeah, they didn't pick up his option.
Well, he hasn't been cut yet, but
okay, they didn't pick up his option, which means welcome to free agency, AP. But then I hear literally 2 hours after that story broke, I read 3 stories, 2 from ESPN, 1 from Fox Sports, saying that the Vikings are saying it's not outside of the realm of possibility of him staying with them.
Yeah, the door's open. AP put it as the door's open. We'll see what happens, but I'm going to explore my other options in the meantime.
Please, Detroit Lions, don't pick up that phone. Do not.
Well, that's what I told.
Don't do what the Lions do in this situation. Please. All right? Downside of his career, injury prone the last few years. I mean, he's got, at this point he's probably being fitted for a Lions jersey, but I'm pleading with you, Detroit Lions, if you can hear me, don't pick up that phone for Adrian Peterson. Please.
Yeah, well, him and Jamal Charles both are free agents. I'm willing to bet one of them are coming to Detroit.
Well, one of the excuse me, interesting articles I read right before we went on was Jerry Jones threw his hat in the AP ring and said he wants him to team up with Ezekiel. If you're Adrian Peterson and you have a chance to stay in Minnesota or go with which is a team that are you going to say they're contenders at this point?
No.
Or you got a chance? Or you got a chance to go join an up and coming team with the Cowboys. Which one do you fucking pick?
If I'm Adrian Peterson's age, I go with my better chance for a ring. Quite honestly, if I have his knees and his ACL or whatever the fuck keeps getting injured on him, I go with the better. I'd rather get a ring on a bench than retire with the team that drafted me. Do that whole thing. I mean, like Rich, you said it a million times, but you Dan Marino would trade all them stats for a ring.
I mean, if he could keep the money and if he could have won the ring in his rookie year when he went to the bowl and kept the money he made through his career, I'm pretty sure he'd have been like, fuck these stats. I'd take, the ring and the money. You can have the records. They're going to be broke one way or the other sometime. I don't know. If I'm Adrian Peterson, yeah, I'm with you, Chris. I'm going where I think I have a better chance to win. On top of that,
Denver's running back.
Well, here's the deal. If he goes to Dallas,
they don't, but they do.
If he goes to Dallas, he's not the guy. That's a plus in my book for him. Because he is the guy.
Keeps him healthy.
Exactly. He is the guy in Minnesota, and his days of being the man, being able to be the man, I think are over with. Now it's just how self-aware is he? Is he aware of that? Or is he one of these players who thinks, no, I'm Superman. I mean, he doesn't play for any teams that I follow closely. I don't know his history in the media. Seems like he comes off like a very set in his ways type guy, AKA I'm going to beat my kid with a switch like it's 1950 and it's cool. But I mean, outside of that, I don't know much about the guy's personality. But if I'm looking at the talent, he has to see the fucking end of the tunnel coming. He has to see the light at the end of the tunnel, at the very least. I think Dallas would be a better fit for him than Minnesota.
I think Darren McFadden would disagree with you vehemently, but I hear you. But there's so many teams that need a running back. I mean, the world is his oyster. I mean, fuck, he could go to New England. Think about that. You don't think Belichick would...
Yikes.
Upgrade to AP from Blunt in a heartbeat?
Well, Blunt's running an all-out campaign to stay in New England. I mean, he's doing a media blitz. He's done everything but basically line up the Red Sox at home plate and blow them like a circus seal to prove how much he loves the Boston and New England area. So
he is the Super Bowl hero too.
I mean, at this point, he knows, I think, what we all know, and we've talked about endlessly, and any football fan knows, is that no player, except for maybe Tom Brady at this point, is bigger than that team. And you can even make an argument that if Tom Brady showed his ass, eventually, if he did it enough, he'd wear out his welcome and they'd show him the door one way or the other. It happens. So, he knows he wants to stay on a contender. And so he's making that media push. He's basically trying to negotiate a contract through the media, which I don't know if that's going to fly with that organization, because they don't seem like the type who want their fucking dirty laundry out for everybody to see. Excuse me, not dirty laundry period, clean or dirty.
And if you look at AP's division, he could pretty much go to any team any team would be Detroit or Green Bay. Chicago is all set at running back with Jordan Howard. I mean, they got their heir to Matt Forte. I mean, he could go to the division.
This is Rappin' Forte. Sorry.
What's that?
Masterpiece song pops in my mind. Who's this? This is Rappin' Forte. Who this?
Yeah, who this? Oh, this Pete.
Make him say, ain't no motherfucking Pete. Sorry.
But he could go, I mean, so many teams need a running game, as we saw this football season. Man, he could go fucking anywhere at this point.
What do you think, Earl? Where do you think is his best place to land? Not just out of Minnesota and the Cowboys either.
Unfortunately, I think the Lions is the best place for him to land. It'll depend on what he values. Does he value the ring?
Did we expect anything less, Rich? Did we?
No, I'm serious. It depends on what he
the Homer card
values. Does he want the ring, or does he want the money? Because it is the end of his career. Detroit will give him the money, won't give him the ring. Dallas might give him the ring, but won't give him the money because they don't need him. Any contender that's really, even Patriots, anybody who's a contender, Denver, they're not going to give Adrian Peterson the money because they don't need him. They want him. They'll use him, but they don't need him.
Denver needs him. Did you see their running game this year? They need him.
I don't know,
yeah, but
man.
Can he hold Anderson's up all season to being the number one guy in Denver?
He doesn't have to be.
What's that,
number one running back? Yes, he does.
In front of him? I think so. I think that just kind of stumbled on to where he needs to go. He needs to go to somewhere where he's got protection, somewhere that can clear the lanes for him, somewhere that can keep him from getting his shit blown out.
If he goes to Denver and Denver pays for him and they overpay by 1 cent and he's not the number one running back, he's not the featured back on that team, there will be hell to pay in Denver as far as the fans and the media goes.
Guys, C.J. Anderson is no slouch.
Yeah, but Denver was running back by committee all last year. Anderson didn't have the job lined up till near the end of the season. I mean, you're right, he's no slouch, but I think old Adrian Peterson is still better than C.J. Anderson.
No, I think they're all set at running back, guys. Seriously. They need a quarterback like Woe. That was C.J. Anderson's problem, because players could scheme for him because their quarterback situation was horrendous.
Well, we know one quarterback who's not going to Denver, and that's Garappolo.
Sorry about your luck, buddy.
What did Cleveland, a 12th overall pick?
That's what I heard.
A 12th overall pick. How many times have we sat here, not just us, but talked about other sports commentators and said he's not worth a first-round pick? And what the fuck did New England get for him? A 12th overall pick. You have to be shitting
for you right there.
Did the GM of New England, the minute that he looked at the caller ID and saw it was Cleveland Browns calling, how hard do you think his dick was? Because he pretty much had to know, I'm going to get whatever I want right here.
And the question is, too, does Garappolo start? Because McCown's done in Cleveland. RG3's still injured, right? Is this where Garappolo finally gets
forever going to be
gig?
injured?
Oh, who else can they throw in there? Unless the last scuttlebutt I heard out of Cleveland was that they're not picking a quarterback with their first round pick, and that was before they traded for Garoppolo.
I read an article today that Johnny Manziel says he's getting his shit together. All right.
Okay, well, does Cleveland still hold the rights to his contract?
I don't know. I'm just being a smart ass.
Okay.
And Tim Couch is going to be his backup.
Speaking of Tim, did you see Tim Tebow hit like 4 home runs or some shit the other day?
Yeah, speaking of PEDs,
4 out of his
thanks,
5
Tim.
pitches or something?
Well, hold on. We're on football.
Yes.
And as much as Tebow would like us to be talking about football and him,
football related.
His career is well over unless he's going to go back to commentating.
It's true. And not fucking women.
Well, I don't know. He could come back to football. Have you seen the fucking size of that man? PED using motherfucker.
Well, good. Then you know what? Hey, you can go fucking be a running back for fucking Denver. What do you want us to say? He ain't coming back to quarterback. That ship's done sailed. Either he's going to play tight end or he's going to play fullback.
Something.
That's
but speaking of quarterbacks, Kirk Cousins got a franchise tag again. Second time in a row ever for a quarterback.
And I saw something today that he apparently wants to be in San Francisco. So that probably had to piss him off.
Well, who else got the franchise tag from it was a defensive lineman from the Giants. Was it Pierre Paul?
Giants. I don't know. I know Le'Veon Bell got it in Pittsburgh.
Well, I know that, okay, forgive me on this. I think I have the rules right. If you are hit with the franchise tag, basically what they do is they take the top 5 earners at the position that you were given the tag at, and they have to pay you the average out of those 5, correct?
Right.
For the season.
Yeah, but I also believe it means you're untouchable. It means you're on that team. You're not going anywhere. Which, if you're trying to get to free agency and exercise your options, it can fuck you over.
Oh, no, definitely. Which means you can't put yourself on the market. Yeah, he can't shop himself around. But, so they're paying, I don't know the top 5 average, but so he's basically, he's getting Matthew Stafford money? Is Kirk Cousins worth that?
Dude, he's getting Brady fucking money, dude.
Well, Brady has renegotiated his contract to make cap room so many times. Who the fuck knows what Brady? We could look it up, but the point is that Brady's already made his money, and he's married to basically the biggest bank that's ever came out of Brazil. So he ain't hurting for cash. If he drops out of the top 5, he's not going to be eating ramen noodles, is what I'm getting at.
Well, to be fair to Kirk Cousins, he does have a very high yards per season. I think he's the highest yards per season for 15 and 16.
And 2, I guess guys like Cousins, I always like a guy like that, just a story like that, because they earned it. He came off the bench, earned his position, fighted to keep it. I've always been a fan of those type of players.
Yeah, I totally agree with
guys that like RG3, who's supposed to have been anointed this great fucking second coming of whatever, and has just been fucking injury prone and shitty his whole career.
Yeah, he was brought in to replace him when he got injured, sat back down when he came back, brought in to be injured when he was injured, and then they finally were just like, you know what, Kirk? What can you do? Take us. Go. And he did.
Though. Okay, as long as he signs the franchise tag tender, once he's signed that, he can be traded. Now, what if this is, what if he's making, hold on, reboot. If he's making such big noise about wanting to go to San Francisco, they had to have heard that when they slapped him with the franchise tag. Okay? And it's not unheard of to trade someone has been slapped with the franchise tag before. Matt Castle's had it done to him, Jared Allen. So
maybe it's the mindset of like, you want him, you're going to have to pay.
Exactly.
It's them setting the market price for Kirk Cousins.
Because who do they have backing him up? Exactly. It's not like there's an Alex Smith or something sitting in the wings, a player that you can go, we can get by. They don't have a game manager. They don't even have a fucking journeyman backup that will win you that could just manage the offense, and a defense that's strong enough to carry you deep into the playoffs, let alone win a Super Bowl, aka 2002 fucking Buccaneers, Ravens in 2000. They don't have any of that. So, I mean, if they get rid of them or they do trade them, even if they get a haul for them, who are they going to get back? Who the fuck is playing for San Francisco that they're going to want? And is San Francisco going to be willing to give up their fucking first round draft pick? Because at that point, you're looking to draft a quarterback.
Is the backup for Kirk Cousins?
Well,
remember Colt McCoy? Remember when he was going to be?
Yeah, he played for Texas, didn't he? In his college years, and I was like, that's the perfect name for a quarterback in Texas, Colt McCoy. That sounds like a Texas quarterback. But besides the cool name, I don't think he's really done shit in the fucking in the NFL. So I don't know, man. That's why I said, what the fuck is going on in the NFL? Garappolo goes for a first round pick. Cousins get a franchise tag. AP gets fucking his extension turned down, but then they say you're still welcome here. But then Jerry comes out. Uncle Jerry throws a fucking wrench into the mix, saying he wants him to come out there. And that's, yeah, granted, AP, we could argue, is over the hill. The rest of these guys, one's just starting his career, arguably, and the others proved to be at least a serviceable starter in the NFL. Once again, this is why this sport is now a all year long fucking sport. The drama never stops with the NFL.
Okay, we got the combine coming up too, right? Like what, a month or so?
Hey, also, the Patriots didn't franchise tag Hightower, so he could test free agency. Hightower is the star linebacker for the Patriots.
Now, Detroit, this is a signing you should make. You won't.
You won't, but
this
you should.
Is one you should make.
Forgive me, I guess I should know this, but I don't. What position linebacker does he play?
Does it matter for the Lions?
Well, no, the thing is that I'm assuming that there's a big difference between being a middle linebacker who's the quarterback for the defense and being an outside linebacker. It's like the difference between being a tackle and a center.
Well, it depends on the scheme you're in. Some outside linebackers are defensive ends, and, some of them are, if you run a 4-4 defense, you already have a defensive end and you need an outside linebacker. If you run a 6-2, you need 2 inside linebackers and no outside linebackers. So,
yeah, but I think I just either read it or heard it on ESPN that the trend in the NFL at this point is that most of the time, percentage wise, no matter the team, they're in a nickel fucking formation on defense anymore. So that's some variation of a 4-3 or a 3-4 with a fucking extra defensive back. So I mean, if you're running, that would be 5 defensive backs, right? Yeah. So that means you're going to have to cut down on a linebacker unless you want to cut down on a defensive lineman. I'm just wondering because didn't Whitehead come out as like, the shocking, oh my God, standout player on defense for the Lions this year? What are they going to do with him?
Well, I'm almost sure they're going to keep him. They should keep him. Tyre Whitehead's a damn good linebacker.
So
but you also have Andre Levy. I know he's getting a little old, though.
I mean, Whitehead played the middle linebacker position. If Hightower's a middle linebacker and he comes in, you're not going to ask you're one of your star free agent offseason signings to change positions, are you?
No, you would ask Whitehead to go to outside linebacker.
And I mean, my question is he as serviceable as an outside linebacker as he is as the middle linebacker?
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Okay. I mean, I know that was your position when you played, so I'm not even going to argue about, that. You probably see the game completely different because you played that position, so,
I actually played defensive tackle, my friend.
Wait a minute, I thought you were a linebacker.
I was a defensive tackle. I was a Warren Sapp motherfucker.
Jesus Christ. All right.
But that being said, I do see it different. With linebackers inside and out, they're one and the same. The middle linebacker drops into coverage, more. They have a bigger zone to cover than an outside linebacker does. An outside linebacker would have to cover a route, like a tight end route, and Whitehead is more than capable of doing something like that. So if you got Whitehead on the outside covering a tight end route and Hightower in the middle covering the zone, shit, yeah, please throw that ball. Because then you got Darius Slay on your corner, you're fucked.
Isn't it amazing how let's just play the what if game. If they do sign him for whatever reason, that in a few years we went from talking about the defensive line to the linebackers and the defensive backs being the strength for the Detroit Lions. That's how quick the turnover is in the NFL. It's amazing to me.
Yeah, but that front four was sick, though.
I'm still 2012 still feels like a fever dream to me when we were told we had the best defense in the NFL.
I don't know about the best defense. We had the best defensive line, though. Oof.
I wasn't used to hearing the best NFL and Lions in any sentence ever in my entire life to that point.
So is that it for the crazy moves? Am I missing any? Because I swear there was at least one or two more. I just can't think of them off the top of my head.
John Elway said, fuck it, I'm coming out of retirement. He's going to quarterback Denver.
Okay, just as a joke here, you hear that or you hear that fucking Peyton Manning's going to come back. Which one is more likely? Which one would you think has a better chance of succeeding at this point?
John Elway.
Peyton Manning. He's younger.
John Elway.
I'm kind of with Earl. I think Manning's entered his China doll stage.
Yeah, but Elway's in his 50s, gotta be. I mean, he'd get hit and he'd fold.
No.
Something inside him would break. He doesn't have a kidney anymore. Oh, poor John. Just saying, the body gets older, it gets brittle.
Peyton Manning was a hit away from being paralyzed in his neck.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. Manning be out there dancing behind that line like you've never seen his ass move before.
Omaha!
minute defensive line got any penetration on his offensive line, he'd just be fucking intentionally grounding it and running for the fucking end zone.
I think that's it for all of the big moves this week. But doesn't free agency begin what would you say, in March 9th? Is when free agency begins?
That's when it starts.
Well, it'll be an interesting week that week. We'll have NFL free agency starting. We'll be filling out our brackets because we're getting close to that time too. Which, it's the only time of year worth paying attention to college basketball, in my opinion.
I'm just going to say this and get this out of the way right now. So when we actually do fill out our brackets, we don't have to keep harping on it. I never filled one out before, never cared to, still don't care to, but I guess I got to do it because of the nature of the show. So I expect to completely tank. If I get anything right, I'll be happy. Just want to throw that out there.
Dude, the last 3, I have no idea what's going on in college basketball until someone hands me a bracket. The last 3 or 4 years, I've picked a bracket, and I think I've made money every year but one. And 1 year, I won the whole damn thing. So I go with history and legacy when I make my picks compared to how things are going right now. But that's kind of like like the chick at the office who picks the Super Bowl or some shit like that. Kind of like that mentality.
That's what I'm almost to the point where I want to flip a coin and decide whether I'm going to go the Lisa Simpson route, which animal or mascot would beat up which mascot and pick them. Or go the girlfriend route and pick what uniforms are like better than the other one. It says here you got Rutgers winning it all. How'd that happen? I like the colors.
What I've learned with basketball, just pick Kentucky, Duke, UConn, and Indiana.
North Carolina.
Or North Carolina is your Final Four, and you're generally you'll be good. But those are just programs too. They just traditionally always have good basketball programs. 1 year I picked Kentucky and they won out of nowhere. People were talking shit. I'm like, whatever, bitch. Pay me. I won. I picked Kentucky. You didn't.
I do want to say that Eric Berry got signed to a 6-year deal with the Chiefs for $78 million.
So he's retiring a Chief.
Yeah, but he's got a story that warms my heart. He beat cancer and came back and still played.
And now making $13 million a year. That's definitely a punctuation on the end of that sentence.
I'm telling you what.
Beat cancer, getting paid. How's your life going? The Eric Berry story. It's the title of his memoir. I'm going to send it to him. Beating cancer, getting paid.
Well, Livestrong doesn't have what's-his-face anymore, so they are looking for a new face, right? He could totally head up that charity.
What did we learn, Lance Armstrong? Don't cheat.
And at least if you're going to cheat when you get caught, admit it and be contrite in your apology. Don't keep saying, oh, wasn't me. The Shaggy defense doesn't work in real life. That's a song.
Wasn't sure when you say mean your apology, Tiger Woods. I'm looking at you. You did not mean your apology. Tiger Woods' apology should have been read, sorry I got caught. That could have been all of Tiger Woods' apology, because that's pretty much what it said.
Every guy was watching that going, just say you're sorry that a whole new world of ass opened up to you. Just say that. Just, because every guy was like, of course he fucked everything that moved. Dude was fucking Waffle House waitresses to porn stars to New York socialites. Basically, he couldn't say no.
Well, yeah, I'm with you, Rich. I would like a guy to get up there one time and be like, listen, I'm rich, I'm famous. Dude, I get up to go to the fucking bathroom and it's being thrown at me all hours of the day. What the fuck would you do?
Exactly.
So you're saying don't put him in the shower? Is that what you're saying? See, yeah.
Yeah.
He couldn't control himself.
I'll shower with a football team full of gay guys before I shower with fucking Tiger Woods. What's that old Eddie Murphy joke? He fucks anything that moves. He comes to my house, the fish stop swimming.
There you go. It's a good note to end the show on, guys. Another 3-hour one. But thanks everybody who's listened, who's downloaded. A year later, almost a year later, we're still every month. Bigger than the last month, bigger than the last month. It means you're listening, you're telling people, and you're coming back, and you're keeping listening. All right. So thank you for that. We're available on iTunes. At ChristopherMedia.net is really just where you should go, because you can subscribe on iTunes or Android there. You can share it on all your favorite social media platforms that way. And, too, you can check out the older shows. All right? Maybe you just found us. Maybe this is your first episode. We can go back. You start at show 1, and you can listen to us talk out of our asses for 37 shows before this one. All right? Thanks, everybody who's listened, and we'll catch you next. Oh, wait. Social media, at Sporgy Podcast on Twitter, at Sporgy_podcast on Instagram. You can email the show, Sporgy at ChristopherMedia.net. If maybe you disagree with some of our opinions, this episode might have happened. Just saying. But thanks, everybody who's listened, and we'll see you next week.
All right, later, guys.
Peace out, yeah.
If you like this show, please tell a friend. Please follow us on Twitter and like and share us on Facebook by searching for Christopher Media. You can subscribe to all ChristopherMedia.net shows for free on ChristopherMedia.net. Please make sure to rate and comment on all your favorite Christopher Media shows. Thank you in advance for supporting Christopher Media by clicking on the PayPal button and by clicking through to all the sponsors who support ChristopherMedia.net. Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net, and thank you for listening. Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
XGGA 8353100, spot entitled Leather /Geico /Reason /Motorcycle 30 seconds.
Geico knows there are many reasons why you ride. From the exciting adventure of the daily commute to the peace of mind that Geico always has your back with 24/7 access to claim service